Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the OK Show. I cannot hear. That's why I hesitated. All right, I cannot
There you
hear
go.
you.
Okay. Of course you can hear me.
All right,
Now you
okay,
hear me,
now I can hear you.
right?
All right,
I was
hang
just
on.
that was just a mic test. So
All right,
welcome to the show. Yet I'm out the South Rodriguez here.
Iceman is here, and we are doing fads that you hated and loved then and now. Yeah, the show starts now. Yeah, tell us all about it. It's a Saturday. It's supposed to be chill because it's a weekend. That's what people do on weekends. They chill.
Uh-huh.
Well,
I
now I
agree.
think
I agree.
now because back then it wasn't chill. We go out and party. That's
Yeah.
chilling in a
There
way,
was
but
there was never chill. If you were ever chill back in the day, it was because you were forced to chill. Like "Pagpio, stay at home. You know what I'm saying? It's like no, we never had chill back in the day. I never had like you would be lying down in bed, you're about to call it a day and you're about to go to sleep, and then you hear like this signal from your friend that goes, and all of a sudden you're like your adrenaline, starts flowing and
right,
you
true.
know,
Or
yeah. That one's really
there's the
famous.
clap. All
That
right, there's
one's
the clap right there.
that's
You
popular.
got to sneak
That's
out now.
popular. Shout out to Joe Boy and Patrick. What are your signals back in the day? Because for the Bakaka boys, I grew up and lived in Bakaka with my Bakaka homies, and one of the veterans there was Mamai, who is Brando's uncle, a childhood friend, and he was always the pasimuno. So his signal was he was the only one who could do this before. Like he taught me, and I practiced it. So you go like this. Can you do it?
Right.
Can you do it? Like you go. It sounds like an owl from afar. Not that we have very many owls here, but it kind of sounds
No,
like
no.
what
Some of
maybe
my
an
friends can do it.
owl.
I can't.
Yeah, that was a signal. And then
I'm
there's
one of
this is
those
like
guys who can't do it.
you know how to do this?
No, I didn't know how to do
Like
that.
like hold on. It's like this finger and you go like this here. Some people can do that loud. But the what's that one? That one? Yeah, that's definitely the signal.
That's lame. That's the lamest. That's the lamest
It's
of
the
them
universal
all.
signal.
So yes, it's easy. It's lame. Everybody can do it. I
Yeah,
can't even do
yeah.
the one with the. Can you do that?
Oh no, no,
Like
no, I can't.
it's
What Phil
it's a
Jackson
sort of
does?
whistle.
That's what Phil Jackson.
I
He
know
goes like this. Phil
Phil
Jackson goes
Jackson's
like
like
this.
this. Yeah, that's
Can you do
different.
it? Can
But
you do
some girl.
that?
No, I can't do that too. I'm not skillful with these things. I'm not skilled at all.
Yeah,
So
probably practice.
people who could do this because I hate on them, I just call them canto boys. Ay, canto boy man na. Pang
No,
canto
no,
ay,
no.
the
We were,
canto boy.
we were. you know, Here's how you should
But I was
you
a
should see
canto
it as this.
boy.
Look at it this way. We were the habulins. I mean, I'm not saying like we were the ones that were always kind of like invited to go out. We weren't the initiators. We were because we had other things that we could do. You know what I'm saying? Like you love to
Mhm.
read. I love to read. I love to draw. I love to. I'm fine being at home. Like I'm not necessarily like sitting there like bored out of my wits waiting for my barcada to pass by and pick me up and play basketball, whatever. So they were always the ones dropping by my house, and my house was the first house in Bakaka in our neighborhood because
Right.
after my house, if you go uphill, it's Garcia Heights. So after Garcia Heights, before Ladislao, the Bakaka gate in Ladislao showed up, our house was the first one. In fact, our village, Riverview Village, we used to have a guardhouse, and the guardhouse was right across our gate. So our house was like number one. And then you go proceed, then you get to Rolling Hills, and then you proceed, then El Rio, which came out much later. So the El Rio people, you're not original Bakaka people. You all showed up late, the Garcia Heights and the Bakaka, the Riverview people, those are the OG. The Rolling Hills people,
Right.
also they're pretty OG. But the El Rio guys, you know, you all came from somewhere else. But anyways,
Langyaw.
so
Langyaw.
we're talking about Sunday being chill, or Saturday being chill, or the weekend being chill. That is because of our age. Now we kind of look forward to weekends to chill, but back in the day, trust us, we did not have chill in our vocabulary unless we were forced. So today we're talking about fads that were
Well, I think
big
we have
back in the day
yes, yes, we're gonna
that
talk about
that you
that, but let me go back to that, lifestyle that you were talking about. That back in the day,
yeah, yeah.
we used to
Yeah.
go out and we used to just do stuff, right? But I would have to
Yeah, yeah,
blame
yeah.
the pandemic for this because when the pandemic hit, everybody seemed to be all right. Let's stay home. It's better to stay home.
That's true. That's
And
true.
and I am talking in the context of being in the Philippines, being a Filipino for that matter, right?
Yes.
Or being
Yes.
a Davaoeno for that matter, or I mean, we both live in the same city, so you can relate to what I'm gonna say.
Yes.
We were the type of people who would always be out on a weekend. Now you're
True.
saying that now because we're at this age, we're kind of chill now, but I don't think so. Like if I did not move and the pandemic did not happen, I would. I don't think I can stay at home, man. I don't think you can stay at home. I mean, I know you would be you would be a family
I have
guy,
kids,
but
man. I don't know.
dude, my dad
I
had
mean,
four kids. He couldn't stay at home.
I would still want to go out. Of course, I would still want to go out. But like I said, I have kids, and maybe I had kids at a certain age, or maybe because I don't know, man. Maybe because of my background or whatever. I can't really say. I can't speak for your
Or it could
dad.
be,
I
but
can't speak
me,
like like
I
like
would
Mao
probably
was
because now the only
when his
reason why I'm
wife.
here is because I have nowhere else to be. But if I am, I mean, if I can be
You'd be out.
somewhere with people, I'd be out. And like my dad, he was out, and he would bring like he would bring us. So that would probably be my case. If Snow would not let go of me, then all right, I gotta bring you with me wherever I'm going. So it's that
Yeah.
sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I couldn't I couldn't be at home. Like now it's the
Yeah.
pandemic and I live in Japan, it's a different place. So that could be the case. But if I am in Davao right now, if like nothing really changed, if
Yeah.
I mean if I live there, I would probably be out with people and I would probably bring my daughter. I mean it doesn't matter. I mean I don't really have to be in clubs and in bars because that's not the only place that you can go on a weekend. Oh, there are coffee shops now
True.
and you can bring along kids. So what I'm
True.
saying is
True.
like no, I wouldn't be partying like how I partied when I was in my 20s, but I wouldn't be in my house. I wouldn't stay in my house. I would be somewhere
Yeah.
else doing things and seeing people because I can't stand
Yeah.
being at home and just watching, like TV or something. Because I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
there are people out there who are out there, like doing things, doing shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's much more fun to be at a coffee shop, looking people passing by while you're talking with some friends, or like even with the family. Like it doesn't mean that
Yeah.
I'm with friends. I could be with my family out. So
Yeah.
that's sort of like just
You're
being
one of my
out of
few
the house.
friends that you're one of my few close friends that I have that I actually enjoy hanging out at a coffee shop with. Like if I'm with you, Billy Kane, if Billy Kane is a coffee guy. He introduced me to coffee, and now I'm like a coffee nut. So he's the kind of guy who like I don't have to have liquor with to have fun. Like guys like Joe, guys like Mao, those guys, it has to be liquor. Brando, those people, but
Right.
you're right, and in fact, like a lot of my nights were hanging out at Starbucks and stuff was with you because usually I hang out with Billy Kane at a coffee shop like in the afternoons or. But with you, I remember when you come home because you don't really drink, and I wasn't really drinking like crazy anymore when you left for Japan, and you would just come home from time to time. We would always hang out at a coffee shop, and you'd have your other friends over, and sometimes your sister would join us or Master Yoda or wherever would join
What
us.
happened? What happened
And
that
good.
night when we were at one of the coffee shops in SM Lanang? What was that? What coffee shop was that? Seattle's Best.
Hold on. No, no, no. I think hold on. No, no, no. We don't have Seattle's best here. That was CBTL. That was CBTL. I think.
Oh, okay, Coffee Bean, right? Coffee Bean
Yeah, Coffee
with
Bean. That was
Joe.
Coffee
You,
Bean.
me, and Joe,
Yes,
and
yes,
Raj was there. Raj was there. So what happened?
yes,
What happened that
yes.
night? Did we
I'm
move
trying
to
to
a different place? Did
recall.
we go to your house?
I, I don't
Because
really recall. I think
we met up there and we went somewhere. Did we go to your house?
I'm trying
Did
to
we end up
recall.
like
Maybe we did.
staying there
May-
and Joe
Maybe
started
we did
drinking?
because yeah, because you're a people person, man. I know you. You're the kind of person you're like. It could be someone's house. It could be some crappy place. It doesn't matter as long as when you're good with good company and you can talk to people. You're good. Like I have friends who are like like Mao. Mao can't stay in one place for very long. He gets bored easily. Like we could be having a great conversation and he'd be like, dude, let's go out. Let's go someplace. Let's check out this bar. He would be texting a friend, then he would go there and like leave you, you know? And I mean, that's just how he is, and that's just how he's programmed. And and for me, it's like I like people watching like you. I like people watching. That's why I like going out because like when you're sitting there and you're talking to your friends, I'm the thing with you though is you don't mind staying at a friend's house and not seeing other people pass us by. But I enjoy going out and seeing people pass by and being seen, right?
Right.
I'm sure you
Yeah,
like
big
that too.
scene.
We
I
like to
love that.
see and
Yeah,
be
I love
seen,
that.
right? Right.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
we share
Be
that,
seen. I want
right?
I want
You
to
want to
see
be
and I want to be
seen.
seen.
You
I want to
want to
see
be
people and they want
seen.
to see me. Right. Be
and,
seen.
and and you don't have to talk to these people. You just want to be seen at the right places. Like you just want people to associate you with like, okay, this guy hangs out here. Okay, he's
Right.
that kind of
Yeah.
guy. You know, like right? Like we all want to be seen at the right places. Just like we want to be seen with the right people, or we want to be seen wearing the right clothes, or whatever. So I get that. And the reason why I'm staying at home is like I said, you know, we don't have a yaya and I have a little kid. But if it's Raj, like if it's like if it's just Raj, I think I was out every weekend. I mean, the wifey would tell me to go out because Raj is already a grown up. He's big. He doesn't need me around all the time. But now with a little boy, with Diego, who's only one, and you know the
No, that
wifey,
would
you know,
that would require
yeah,
a
my
lot of
presence is
assistance.
required.
I
My
would
presence
say
is
that, yeah,
required.
because
So
of
yeah,
Rye,
but
yeah,
if,
it can
without the
really take.
pandemic, dude, are you kidding me? With all the bars that just opened up, I mean, just my area alone here in Damosa and Lanang. I mean, we were going to this like we had our selection of bars nearby. So yeah, that's right. Gabby said wants to be seen but not scene zoned. Um,
Nobody
okay,
wants
hold on. Well,
to be in that
to be scene
particular,
zone.
yeah, situation.
Yeah, just like
Just scene
seen but
zone
nobody
all the time.
replied. Like you're like a
Right?
message,
Yeah,
right? Like
scene zone,
yeah, okay, got it.
like
Okay,
ghosted or
Patrick,
something,
regarding our
right?
schedule, we're kind of very flexible because I mean there are times when I would be busy or I get my hands full or I can't do the live episode or Ice can't do the live episode. So we just like we adapt and we move it to a different schedule. But Saturday usually is our regular live
Right.
episode. But
Yeah.
lately we've been doing live episodes like to our regular supposedly recording sessions. We don't know. Ice is getting tired of editing, so so we're doing live episodes
We're
now because
probably doing
you
live
know
for a while, right? So yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, okay. I hope you guys don't mind because at least you can join us. Yeah, I hope
true,
you guys don't
true.
mind, right?
I think I need people
Man,
to I think connect with from time to time.
I
Like I
know, I
know, like
know.
the thing that we're doing, like I think we still have some episodes that I need to upload. So I'll finish that, then we'll get back to like the recording because I think we have like three or four. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I've just been like with the recital and some stuff to deal with, so it's like right, like on hold with the editing and
yeah.
stuff. But yeah,
Trust us,
but I'll
folks.
get back to it.
If you prefer live, like Gab said, he prefers live. Like trust us, we prefer live too. That's just how we
Yeah,
program. We're spontaneous guys. We're not into like canned stuff or like
right.
scripted
Okay.
stuff. We
You know
can do
what?
it,
Who
but you know,
I, I'm blaming Pinky for this because Pinky was like, "Hmm, what are your plans?" I'm like, "All right, okay, all right, yeah, all
we
right, we'll
weren't
do
going
recording.
anywhere.
Recording's good. Recording's good, but it lacks this sort of interaction and like the
Interaction,
fun
yes, yes.
in doing things, right? So
I
yeah,
agree.
it's
I agree. We feed
kind of
off
like
other people's energy.
exactly, yeah, exactly. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
And I'm like, it's
yeah.
we just have to be patient, I guess, because in order to get following and stuff, you've got to be there in the long haul. It's not like overnight. No, so
True, true.
this is actually what we're talking about because we're talking about fad, and there's a big difference between because we're not just going to talk about fad because at some point we're going to talk about
Yes,
a word that's related to this, which is trend. Fads and
yes,
trends are different, right? So
yes, yes.
fads are like overnight. They boom like that. It's popular, then then it's gone, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
we don't want to be we want to be a trend. So in order for you to be
Yes.
a trend, it has to gain traction like slowly but surely. It's like it's going
Yeah.
up. It's that's what happens. So we
I
can't like
also think,
expect it to.
well said. I agree with you. I mean, I also think that a trend sounds like it has more substance than a fad. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like, like, like if your dad says, "Oh, that's just a fad," so usually it's like that's the only thing it has going for it. It's just that people are clamoring for it, but it's really like nonsense. Oh, that's just a fad. But when you say it's a trend, there's more substance to it. Like there's a reason why it's trending. There's a reason why people are following it. There's a reason. It's not a shallow reason like, okay, we're just crazy. Nobody can explain why it's a fad. But regardless, any following we'll take, whether if you see it as a fad or you see it as a trend, we'll take what we can get. Beggars can't be choosers.
Right.
But tonight, we would want participation, because I mean, we're not saying you guys carry the show. We know we're always going to be the ones who have to carry the show, but we would love to get feedback, because we have guys like Joe Boy, Patrick, Gab, Starks. They're so, because we know them personally, most of them. They're so involved in the show that sometimes they forget that they can contribute. That they actually wait for the other members of the audience to contribute. You get me, Ice? Like,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have them
yeah.
as regulars, but they don't really participate. They just listen, and they just like they see it from our perspective. So they're waiting for the other
Right,
listeners. But guys, you're the guys we should get the ball rolling for us, because once you start
right.
contributing, then the other listeners or viewers will start contributing. So you actually are the guys that that kick off the show. Because if it's just Ice and Rod's opinion, I mean, they're gonna get that whether they want it. We want to hear your opinion. So what were things that you were into, or not, that were popular back then that you hated, that you like now? Whether because you've matured, whether because your taste has changed, whether you moved, you relocated, and you all of a sudden you like it now. Maria Maria Clea?
Maria
Mike,
Clea,
what's are you? Is that Maria Clara? What are you? What's Okay? Hold on. Is
right?
that
Or Maria
porn? Who
Clea
is that?
or Clea? But why do you automatically say it's porn? If it's a girl, like,
No, no,
what
no.
is it
Because
a porn? Like, is it
it might be a
porn
porn
or is
star
it
who wasn't
is she a
pretty
porn
before,
star?
and now she's pretty.
I
Like,
love how
okay,
we just like, oh, somebody types a woman saying like, oh, is that porn? Is she a porn
okay,
star? For all
okay.
you
What
know,
time is it?
it's
It's eight
Mike.
25. Okay, maybe
For
it's a
all you
little
know, it's
early. Okay,
Michael's.
here's one that I hated before. Since we started talking about, we mentioned porn. I mean, for the kids out there, just don't pay attention to what we're talking about. This is an adult show. So, which is we're talking about, which we mentioned porn. I mentioned it. I know maybe that's not what Mike meant, but
Yeah,
things that I hated
could be the
before
love
that
of
I
his
I
life.
don't that I don't mind now. Or maybe he was, yeah. That I don't mind now. Like like like
Oh, tagging
unshaved
someone. All right.
girls. Un-
Unshaved
unshaved
girls.
lady.
All
like
right. Okay.
like
So what
back
about it?
like back in the day, it was like all about the Brazilian, right? Like you want them
Right.
like
Yes. Yes.
bear, right? Like
Yeah.
like that full beaver
Right.
shot, like
Right.
that camel
Right.
toe in full
Okay.
effect. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
And
I
now
get
it's
that. I get
like
that.
it's like and now it's like, since everyone's done it and you watch every porn, whatever, and like it's all like just like bare, it kind of like you kind of want it organic again, like, you know what I'm saying? Because
Do you like
that
it
wasn't
bushy again?
hairless.
All right.
Not
Bush.
that crazy bushy, not that crazy bushy, but like maybe like 90s porn bushy,
Trimmed.
not 80s, not
Trimmed.
80s.
All right. Like trimmed
But
bushy, like bushy but a little bit trimmed,
But you
right?
know what I'm
So
saying?
trimmed.
Like I
Yeah,
hated
yeah,
that before. Like I didn't,
I get that. I
right?
get that.
Like, okay, like if there's a girl and like she's got hair, it's like, what the heck, man? Like,
Airstrip.
get waxed or something. Yeah, get waxed or something. And now it's like, no, man.
And
It's like, I don't know. Maybe because
it's
we're
painful,
adults,
man.
it's
I heard
organic,
from women it's
huh?
painful. I heard from women it's painful, so don't do it. Like what? Okay, why do women do it though? Maybe because they're wearing swimsuits and whatnot. So that
Yeah,
could
yeah,
be
yeah.
it.
Yes, yes.
So they wear
Mostly for those that
swimsuits,
wear like bikinis and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, they're
And
gonna do that.
and also I guess for hygiene, like some guys complain about women who smell funny or whatever. Maybe it's from that. I don't know. I mean, but what I'm saying is, like, you kind of want, like, now that I'm older, and maybe we've had our share
Right.
of
So
like
you're back to being
women who
organic.
are, yeah, I kind of want a little organic, like, I want a little
Do you
hair there,
sprinkle some
like, I don't want it to
fertilizers
be
on it, like from time to time? Like, all right, here's some
make it grow.
fertilizers right there. Right?
I'm a
Just
plantito.
to make
I'm a
it smell better.
plantito.
Now that turned you into a plantito.
No, no, because
Guys,
because I miss
if
I'm
you see Ra
be-
shopping for fertilizers, that he's become a plantito, and you know why that is.
yeah, exactly, CJ, don't panic, it's organic, because I know, because there was a time when, like, I mean, I'm not saying, like, I encountered so many women and I saw them naked and all that stuff, but there was just a time, maybe during our DJ days or whatever, that it seemed like that was the fad. Like, all these waxing salons opened up, and like almost every women got themselves waxed. Like, they all like were bare, and it was like, and it got old real quick. It's like, what, you look like a kid or something? I mean, you're not fooling anybody. We know there's hair there. You just had it taken off. You just had it ripped out. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just no yelling, okay? So anyway, you know what I'm saying? So now that we're adults and we've grown up, you kind of, you miss that. And I guess back in the day, I hated the hairy women, and now it's like you don't mind it too much because you're older. It's yeah,
But
and
okay,
I don't.
CJ is typing like Balbon is great, and when I was
Okay,
young,
Balbon is
you
different. Balbon is like hairy in the arms and everything. I mean, I don't
right,
mind that. I'm not very particular.
right,
I know Gabby D hates that stuff. No, there's no space here. You gonna do it here? Okay,
right.
go ahead.
Okay, because
Get the
when I
stool.
was young, my dad and his friends would be drinking, and they'd be talking about like, oh, how women, um Balbon women are considered to be mestiza or tisay or whatever, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
they're kind
yeah,
of like, uh well, from at that time, listening to them, my impression would be Balbon is like such a premium. All right, if you get a Balbon chick,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right,
Yes, yes, yes.
it's a premium, like it's like you have a premium girlfriend or something. So yeah, I mean Balbon, yeah. But then when I was already in my teen years, or no, I was already in college, right, and early 20s, it came to a point that not a lot of women wants to have hair on their legs, and like
No, they're conscious
yeah,
about
like
that.
they
Yeah,
kind of like have
yeah,
those um what you call it, like those things that they put, it's like a glue, and then you put like some strips and they like pull it out, like something like that, like like air strips. Do you call them air strips?
yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah. The wax
yeah,
thing.
like those. Okay, yeah, the waxing. They do wax a lot to like remove all
You can
those
stay there. Be
hairs.
quiet, okay?
So it's kind of like, all right, so not a lot of women wants to be balbon anymore, right? Well, back then
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, balbon, right? I'm like,
No,
oh,
because of the song. Kapag ang babae
sakang
may
chicharon.
bigote, siya ay lalaki.
Yeah,
Kapag ang babae may bigote, yan ay
sakang
lalaki. But I
chicharon,
mean, we,
chicharong balbon. All right.
but you know what? But you know what? For a while, when I was in college, I mean, just like with the women that I encountered back in the day, it's like for some reason, like the more balbon they are, like for some reason, the hornier they were. You know what I'm saying? It's like it was like it
Really?
just like I
I wouldn't know about that.
like I don't. Here's the thing. I think it's psychological because if a woman is hairy, like she's balbon, right, and you kiss her in her erogenous zones, right, and she gets all ticklish and turned on, her hair stands up, so it's more obvious. Like you can feel the goosebumps quicker. So you're like, okay, she's getting turned on. But those girls who are not very hairy, like like you can't really tell. Like, is she getting turned on? Am I pushing the right buttons here? Am I hitting the
Well,
spot?
they make that
But
particular sound, I would say that you're doing the right thing.
no,
If they
no,
don't
but I
make that
mean,
sound, they
I
scream
don't know if
like
any.
"Tabang! Help!"
I don't know if it was
Then
like
that's
I don't know if it
right.
was a
That's different.
'90s thing. See, see, well, they kind of are indeed. See, according to CJ, based on experience. So I don't know if it's a '90s thing or it was just like a stereotype I had, or maybe like I said, because the hairier a woman is, if she's balbon, you can see the goosebumps more, or you can feel her hair like
Mhm.
stand if she's getting turned on, like you touch her at a
Right.
certain part. But I dated girls who were balbon back in the day, and I noticed that they were more kind of responsive to intimacy. Like if you kiss them, they moan and whatever. So I don't know if it's a balbon thing. I don't know if there's research behind that,
If you
right?
kiss
I
them,
don't
they
know if there's
moan. Ah!
yeah,
Holy
yes.
crap!
I mean,
What kind of women are these, man? Okay, but
dude, come
Gabby's
on.
saying it's non-negotiable for him. Like Balbon, but hey, Gabby,
Yeah, yeah,
you might want to change your mind there, because
yeah.
see,
Gabby, you
just by
might
kissing them, they're already moaning. I mean, there's
Gab,
nothing
that's
happening yet.
probably
It's just
why you
kissing.
haven't been lucky. That's probably why you have a
Yeah,
streak of,
go for
like
the
it
Balbon
hasn't been work.
women.
Yeah, go date a gorilla for crying out loud. Come on.
Exactly. Like, I mean, listen to this guy kissing, and they're moaning already. Just kissing, and there's
Yeah.
already some
Yeah,
moans
to
and
get to the
stuff.
neck part. Are you
I
kidding
mean,
me? Like
imagine
you have to cover
if
the
they do
mouth.
more than kissing, right? If it's more than kissing,
Then I
there's probably
moan.
like
Then I start moaning.
there's probably, I don't know. There's like there's
Okay,
oh no.
Jepoy, don't drop names, Jepoy. All right, because I'm friends with some of those people still on Facebook. So they don't drop names. I know who you're referring to,
Twinkle
Jepoy.
twinkle
Don't
little
drop
star.
names.
I think he means like the song, like twinkle twinkle
Hopefully,
Balbon star,
hopefully.
right?
But that's
Okay.
always the rule we have here. It's like don't drop names. That's okay, man. I mean, You know, it's not your life's not at stake. You're in Cavite for crying out loud. I'm within
They
reach
can't hunt
here.
you down. You can't be hunted with the
The
pandemic and
husband
all.
or
They
the husband or
see
the
if
boyfriend can
even if
track
they
me down.
try to hunt you down, Jepoy, they have to quarantine. So you know what I'm saying. So there, I mean,
Yeah,
you have you have a really huge time or a really huge window to get away because they have to like
yeah.
find you and they have to quarantine. Yeah,
Come here.
I mean they know where Rod
Okay.
lives, right?
Yeah, I love my
Hello,
son. He likes
Raj.
to hang with me. Like we have a love hate relationship, but he always wants to be where I am. He's like he's here again. He's like there again. He's like I'm
Raj,
like leave me
why are
alone.
you
He's like
always with your father? You're like Snow. Like
I'm
Snow
not.
is the same way.
We're
Always hanging out with me.
we're great
Always tagging
dads.
along.
It only comes down to one thing. We're great dads. Or
Raj the
you should
tail.
yell at your kids more. They seem to like it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the more you yell at your kids, the more they love their dads. Um, yeah, yeah, but yeah. CJ, CJ was like my first kid, man. He was my first, but CJ is
Yes,
like a good kid. I
big
never,
boy na. Stark
I,
said that yeah,
oh
big boy na daw
yeah,
si Raj. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Parang
he is
Jan
big.
Yap, Starks Yap. He's a big kid. He's 100 and how much you weigh? 100 like 5 pounds, and he's like 10 years old. When I was 12 years old, I was 78
105
pounds.
pounds.
He's, oh, kilos. Oh no, pounds, of course, not kilos. Pounds.
Like okay, in
107. He's
kilos, that would
107.
be like what?
That's like half, almost,
That's
maybe
like half of it,
60,
like 50
50. I don't.
kilos. Holy
Yeah,
crap!
maybe. Yeah, for a 10-year-old. And
Wow,
like I said,
Snow
when
is
I was
around
12, I
21,
was
21, 22, I think.
oh, she's gonna get big. Yeah. Yeah, and she's like what? She's 6? She's like half, almost half Raj's
She's
age.
7, almost 7.
So she's gonna weigh as much as Raj by the time she's 10.
Well, hopefully not, because then like I always like have her go out running and swimming, and she'll start basketball next week. So she'll
Yeah.
like hopefully because I
Minimum weight division. Yeah, Pacquiao like started at 109 pounds, I think. If I'm
right
not
because
mistaken, like Pacquiao was like
I'm
109.
looking at Bella right now, and Bella's kind of chunky. You know what I'm saying? Like most
Yeah, yeah,
most
yeah. She's
kids in
hefty.
the
Yeah, she's
Philippines,
she's big bone
they have that sort of like because Snow's cousin here, who's Bella's age, they have the same they
build
yeah they're like that built
frame,
like
same
that
frame.
the
Yeah,
body frame and they yeah it's just she won't fit here in Japan. It's kind of like different here. A lot of people here are just really literally skin and bones. I mean, not in a bad. I
yeah,
mean, I'm not really skin and bones, but they're usually
yeah.
skinny, petite. So I
Yeah,
try
because
to.
of I guess
I want to
yeah
keep it that
the
way.
food they eat too. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
same thing in Thailand, in Bangkok, man. Everybody's freaking thin there, and I don't know why their food's so good. Maybe it's the spicy food. But all right. So we're talking about things that you used to hate back in the day that you like now. Music. Has anything changed for you guys? You know what? For me, I started, and this is something that I thought I would never say because I like I it was so final when I said it back in the day. I said I would never ever like country music, and maybe it's parenthood, because if you listen to country music, like U.S. country music, all right, um, a lot of it sings about parenthood, sings about, and it's very straightforward. So I've started to listen to some country music, like
I never said
the
that
Landreth,
ever.
like Landreth brothers, Casey Musgraves. So man, I love her music. I mean, I love Casey Musgraves' music. If you're familiar, and this is a guy who's like Mr. Alternative Rock. I mean, yeah, a little bit of hip hop. I'm a hip hop guy too, but I'm more alternative rock. Well, I'm more new waver. But now I'm like, okay, you're.
Yes, mom. I'm telling you, you're fat. That's what I'm. That's exactly what I'm saying. But no, I know this is not my mom. This is Bella. No, I'm not saying you're fat, Bella. All I'm saying is you're chunky. You're like
Bella, if
Ellie.
you're fat, then what the heck is Raj? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. I mean,
You're not fat. You're
you're
not there
healthy.
yet, at
You are
least. But I'm
healthy.
telling you, I know it's Bella. I
Bella,
thought
you're healthy.
it was Mama. I was like
And,
typing. No, I'm
and,
saying that
and
you're a bit chunky,
yeah, you're
and
big
Ellie
bone.
too. You
That's
have the same,
you're big bone, right? So
yeah, you
that's
have the
how
same
you,
frame
you
right
can't run
now.
away from that. You're a big boy. You can't run away from that. That's just how you're built. You see how some people they try to lose weight and they do diets and stuff, but they're still, you know, it's genetics. You know, there are things that's because of an unhealthy lifestyle. Then you get fat. But if you're big boned, you know, you're there's nothing you can do about that. You can only like try to be as healthy as you can. So
And
okay,
it like some people wants to, I mean, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with whatever weight you're in. Just to be clear here, all right? I mean, there's nothing
yeah,
wrong
yeah,
if you're
yeah,
really thin, nothing
or
wrong if
really
you're
fat.
really fit, and I wouldn't say that, like if you're really fat and you like being fat, then that's fine. But it's unhealthy though. But I mean, if that's what you want, I mean, if that's, I mean, if that's what you want to have, I mean, the kind of weight that you see, it's kind of hard. You talk about like weight and stuff. No, if you want it, if you want to be that way, it's fine. All right,
Yeah,
it's not bad at
yeah,
all. But all I'm saying is like, personally, I would want myself to stay as fit as possible. I'm not even that fit. Like I look at my tummy, I'm like, oh, I need to shred this, but I can't because I'm too busy, and there's just a lot of things going on right now. But I try to keep my weight at at 60 or 62. Like I wouldn't I yeah
yeah. You
right now
you're,
I'm
you're
like
pretty consistent, man.
61,
You've
62.
you've
Yeah.
been you've been very consistent. Like when you left for
Well, I
Japan,
try
I
to be.
remember you would come back. You always looked fit. Like I'm always like, man, you're looking yo. Like you go to the gym. I don't know what it is, but you've always maintained that like you have that youthful frame. You know, like you're still like you could pass for like a college student or a high school student with your frame because you did
No,
not you didn't
not
get the
anymore.
old
Not
people's.
anymore.
Well, I haven't seen you in a while, but I think you're still pretty fit because every time you come home, and I'm assuming because usually most of my friends and family that live abroad, especially if it's a first world country with a lot of good food and like cold weather, when they come home, they get they're big. They're just naturally
To get really
very
chunky
rare
too.
do they.
Really chunky as
Yeah, they
well.
get chunky.
That's true. That's
But
true.
you,
But I
dude,
try.
you
It's
need
because of because
good
there was this
discipline.
one time that I left, right. I left there, then I stayed here for almost already a year. Then I thought I had the same build, and I have the same body when I left the Philippines. But then I couldn't even tie my shoelaces anymore. It was quite a work to tie my shoelaces. So I was like, there's something wrong. Then I looked at myself and I was like, damn it. Oh my God. Then that's when I was like, I was looking at my weight, and I, my height, I'm 162 centimeters, 61, 62. I have to be only at
What's your ideal
60,
weight?
between 60 to 62. I mean, 62 is even like already, like for me, that's already obese, that's already overweight for me. So I have to like keep it
Yeah,
60, 61 at least. Or, I mean, if I can keep it 61, that would be okay. 62 is already like, I would feel heavy already. So it's,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like, okay, I know a friend, she likes to eat, and she would say like, I don't care if I get fat, I just like to eat because I love eating,
yeah,
I love food,
yeah.
and it's fine with me. Then that's
Brings
okay,
her joy.
right? Yeah, if that's what brings you joy, if that's what makes you happy, then there's nothing wrong with that. So just to be clear.
Yeah. All right. So okay. So anyway, regarding like this talk about like being fit and all that stuff, we're gonna have an episode. We're gonna title it "What's the best version of you?" or "How to get to the best version of you?" Because like we all want to be Tom Cruise, but we can't be, right? So there's what's the best version of Ice? What's the best version of Rod in terms of our fitness, in terms
Right.
of our mindset, in terms of our looks, in
Mhm.
terms of our fashion, our money, whatever. We'll have that episode. But today we're talking about those fads. So
Fads, right?
we'll get
Okay,
back to the
so
topic.
Rod, question.
Let's read Michael. Yeah, go. Michael's first.
Yeah,
I'll
so
just read
yeah, because
Michael's real quick. And you
this is
can, yeah,
related to Michael. Are you what,
yeah.
Michael or
I'll read
Patrick?
Michael's first because his Michael came in first. So
All right, okay.
it's actually on top. He said, "I used to hate motorcycles back then. I think for its bad reputation, but when the pandemic came, I had no choice but to use one. I fell in love with it since it's small, cheap, and fun." And the thing with Michael is, I know his family. He's Brando's cousin. Yeah, he's Brando's cousin. So I know his family, and almost everybody on his mother's side rides motorcycles, and
Right.
his dad also. I mean, they have cars, but his dad goes to work and from work on a motorcycle. I mean, his dad, by the way, is a Davao Light guy, so I'm pretty
Well, so you
sure
think
your dad.
motorcycles are fad? Can they be
I don't
considered
know.
fad?
That I don't know if it's necessarily a fad, but
All right, okay, but it's
now
probably just
now
about motorcycles. All right, okay.
yeah,
Because
now
motorcycles has been
okay. So
around. It never went away. So it's
yeah, but the
well, it could
popularity of
be.
motorcycles now is crazy. It's crazy. Like we're not talking about like the Honda
It is,
Wave
but
and
but
the
it's never gonna. Yeah, but it's not. But it's never gonna go away. I mean, it's just
you
like trends
think?
are like this. Like they're gonna like chill for a while, but they're gonna come back, and they're just gonna change a bit. You know, they would
Okay,
evolve, but it's still the
okay,
same motorcycle. But so that's a
okay.
trend. But
Because
with fads, it's
it's a
like for
necessity,
example,
right? Because it's a
yes, like for
necessity, right?
example,
Yeah,
fidget spinners, they're a fad. Like nobody would want a fidget
that's
spinner
true.
anymore right
That's
now,
true.
right? So
Yeah,
that's a fad. Pokemon Go, Tamagotchi,
Tamagotchi was a
that's a
fad.
fad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the brick
Pokemon
game,
Go, that's a
brick game
fad.
was a
Yeah, the
fad.
brick game,
Brick game.
Candy Crush. Like these are the
Yeah.
fads that it's like all right, nobody
Um,
even okay. Ice bucket challenge. Nobody even
Joyce
remembers it
Jimenez.
anymore.
Joyce Jimenez was it a fad? That was a fad.
Well, if they
ST
if
ST
they do
movie.
not get old and they keep on taking off their clothes, they wouldn't be a fad. They would be a trend. But then
That's
sadly,
true.
people get old and they stop taking off their clothes, and that's what happens. People would forget them.
Green Department. Green Department was a fad, right?
Was it a
But
fad? It was a fad. It was a fad.
those,
But
yeah, like Siakol, those guys, like they, I mean, you know, the people like listen
do
to
you
them,
think
but
they
it
were
wasn't like
packaged
how.
in the same way, Shackle and Green
Yeah,
Department?
yeah, yeah. I think
And
because like
can you
because
say Broken Edgar is different from these bands?
yes, because I think Parokini Edgar, Eraserheads, River Maya, those guys, you know, I mean, their songs kind of became iconic with Green Department. With these are songs that like you listen to in a beer house or like in a friend's house when you're like smoking a joint or something. Like it's not
Mhm.
it. I don't think there are people out there who are hardcore fans still of any of these groups. These are songs that everybody, whether you're a rocker or not, knew because they were novelty songs. So
Right.
that
Okay,
I think
so
it was kind of like
Shackle, what was that? Shackle, Green Department, Pinoy Violators, would you
um,
consider them as a fad?
yeah,
Are they the
yeah. I
same
think Pinoy
group?
Violators too. Pinoy Violators too. And there's another one.
How about the
The one
youth?
with the multo. Multo, yeah, multo.
The
That's the one
youth.
I
The
was just
youth.
referring. Yeah, the youth. The youth, yeah. Those guys were kind of like the same packaging as like,
But how about Yano?
Siakol.
How about Yano
Yano
and
was different. Yo, dude, Yano had very deep songs. Their songs were very
all right,
politically
I
driven. Those
agree.
guys were activistas, man. Those guys
Dong
were,
Abay, right?
you
Yeah,
know,
right. I agree.
yeah,
I
those
agree. I
guys
agree.
are.
I agree.
That's not a fad. Maybe yeah, that's not a fad. But Green Department, if they come back and they become popular again, I don't know. It's kind of like
Probably not. Probably
um
not. Your department. Their
yeah
song was was about meeting somebody at the Jeep and not paying,
yeah.
not paying. They
And
met
then their
somebody
song
there.
is
They did
about
not pay.
dude, their song is about my lubricant
Yeah.
lubricant toothpaste, can toot. I mean, come
Mhm.
on, dude. Read between the lines. Right? Their songs were just, it's like,
Oh, is that what
my
it was? Toothpaste,
lubricant
lubricant
toothpaste.
toothpaste.
Did you get it?
Was
What
that
it
what it?
was.
No, I didn't get it. Are you sure that
My
it was
lubricant
that? I know
dude,
Kanto,
come
but I
on.
mean, was it actually like what you're saying
That's
right now?
what it.
Is that
I
what it
mean,
was?
that's what it was. That's what it was.
Oh
That's what
crap! I
their
didn't know
songs were
that.
about. They always
I
had
thought they
those
were
double
actually
meanings.
singing about those
Just like
promotions or those promo
just like
people
Willie Revillame.
who go to neighborhoods and sell
Willie
toothpaste and
Revillame sang a
shampoo.
song about he sang a song about Pokemons. Why the heck would Willie Revillame sing a song about Pokemons? He probably doesn't even know one Pokemon for crying aloud. But he said, nabasa ang Pokemon. Nabasa ang Pokemon. Malaki ang Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you hear it from a
Okay,
distance,
okay,
then
hang on, because it's
the
Willie
message is
Revilla,
different.
man. I got it because it's Willie, and you know how he is. So when he was singing that Pokemon song, I know he was talking about. I know what he was talking about. But then with Green Department and my Libre Kang Tooth, because their first song was about meeting
Lubricant
somebody at the Jeep, and
toothpaste,
it
my
wasn't even
lubricant.
green.
They
It wasn't even
slipped the
Bastos,
lyrics
right?
in. They slipped the lyrics in just to
Okay,
be able. They
was there anything in what was that song? Miss You? Was there anything in the song Miss You that they slip in that's kind of like have
I'm
a
trying. I'm trying to
bastos
recall what the
meaning?
song is. I don't. What's how does Miss You go?
Miss Me sa loob ng jeepney, sana naman ako ay bigyang pansin.
Bigyan pa- Probably like
Sa
in
loob
like
ng
the earlier
jeepney.
lines.
Right?
How
Because
does
I
it
love
start?
that
How does the
song. I
song
mean, yeah,
start?
they might be a fad, but I love that particular song. It
How
reminds me
does
of
the
my
song
high school
start?
days.
How does the song
Minsan,
start?
sumakay ako ng jeep, galing sa eskwela.
Okay. Well,
Dude,
I
you,
no,
you
no
don't know the
not
song?
nothing. I know the song. I don't memorize it. Okay,
At
here's one.
sos
Here's one.
ang
Here's one.
dating.
Bayani Bayani Bayani.
All right.
Ocho
Oh,
Ocho,
well,
right?
that's a fad. Yeah.
No, but I
Tayo'y
mean, you know that there's bad words, right? Ocho
uh,
Ocho Ocho pa. Oh. Ocho Ocho pa. Come on,
you know
man.
what?
Dude.
I don't think it's these
What?
guys. I think it's you. I think it's you. I don't think it's these guys. I think it's you. My ocho ocho pa.
Dude,
What?
I can
Ocho
read
ocho
between the
pa.
lines,
No,
man.
seriously, ocho
Come
ocho pa.
on. Read the lyrics. Ocho Ocho Ocho
Ocho ocho is an
Ocho
actual
pa.
dance,
Oh,
man.
huh?
It's an actual dance. I
I
saw those
know,
girls
but it's the
dancing. Like who are those
remember
dancers? They're not
Bulaklak?
the.
Remember
Hang
how the
on.
sex bomb
Like okay,
dancers changed that song?
sex
Bubukas
bomb.
ang
But
bulaklak.
hang
Pa-na-na-na.
on, sex bomb.
Right?
Sex bomb. They're no sex bomb. Sex bomb dancers are ABS. Who are like at the GMA.
Sex
They were
bomb.
like
Oh no no. GMA
sex
is EB Babes. EB Babes. EB
EB
Babes.
babes,
That's
EB babes. All right,
with
okay.
Eat
Sex bomb
Bulaga.
dancers, then EB babes. All right, okay. All right. We have to like go to Patrick's. Like we're all right. Okay. Is emo
Yeah, let's read
culture
the
a
messages.
fad? Right? Because he's saying back in the day, he didn't get the emo culture. It was popular then when he was in high school, but the music that came out of that scene were great. So, like, I
Okay.
think emo culture is like what a trend.
Um
Do you think it's a fad or a trend?
like my
Because it's
like what?
if it's
My
a
Chemical
culture, then it's not a
Romance by
fad,
emo, right?
right? Right.
Um I think it was a fad. I
It
think it
was a
was a
fad.
fad.
You think?
It's
All right. Okay.
like because what because during the 80s when I went to when I lived moved with my dad and then I went to Europe, I went to London to move with my dad. This was mid 80s. You know what was the big thing there? The punk rock scene. And people I actually saw people with mohawks. You know, if I don't know if you're
Right.
familiar with Siggy Sputnik or The Clash or Ramones or all these, but these guys like had bracelets with spikes and they had like mohawks that's
Right.
colored and they had like mullets that's great and it was like a punk culture like it seemed like a culture like but then when we moved to the states it died like all of a sudden there was no more like the
Maybe it
punks
wasn't a
and
thing in
the
the
saying punk's
states.
not dead because the definition of punks here in the Philippines is totally different from the punks that were in Europe. The punks that I saw in Europe, dude, they were legit punks. They had like nipple piercings, they were wearing leather, the stereotypes that you think don't really exist.
So all right. So
They were walking on the streets of
okay? How about Daft Punk? Is that a different thing?
so emo culture is, I think, the same. It's kind of like a fad.
Yeah. But Daft Punk is different, right? That's a song. That's not a
Oh, that's a
band.
different. No, Daft Punk is like, yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's just like, yeah,
That's not the
it's
punk
Daft
punk.
Punk is like dance. It's like electronic.
All right.
It's electronic. Yeah,
See, it's confusing to
the
me
punk.
because people always use the
No,
punk.
no,
They like people use the word
the
punk, and
punk music is like
but then there's Daft
Ramones, The
Punk. So it's kind of like
Clash,
all right,
Sex
okay, all right,
Pistols,
okay.
Sige Sige
Yeah,
Sputnik.
that one
Yeah,
I know.
that's punk.
I've heard of these
That's
things when I
punk,
was in high school.
definitely.
But
That's
then
punk.
Daft Punk
That's
came
punk.
about. So I was like, this is not punk, but why is it called Daft Punk? Or why is the song Daft Punk? So
Yeah,
I okay, see, there
they're
you go.
actually
EDM. What is this,
yeah, it's
what
EDM.
is
It's
it?
like EDM, like early EDM. So
Is it
Patrick, he didn't get the emo culture back in the day. Okay,
is it a sort of
so now you
sarcasm?
get it.
Is that what it is?
Do you like it now, Patrick? I mean, are you into emo now, or is it just the music that you're into? Because the thing with emo, I like Dashboard Confessionals. I don't know if that's considered emo. I like Dashboard Confessionals. I don't mind My Chemical Romance. I don't think you necessarily have to paint your fingernails black or wear eyeliners or wear all
Right.
black and like have this like hair like this,
Okay, excuse me for a
just to
minute.
be a
I'll
fan
just
of the
get some
stuff.
tea.
But
It's
sure, sure.
really cold right now.
Yeah, it's getting cold here too. But anyway, go ahead. So yeah, so Patrick, let me know. I mean, because we're talking about things that you hated back in the day that you like now. So if you didn't get the emo culture back in the day, do you get it now? I mean, are you like do you dress emo now or you just listen to emo music? Because I listen to country music now. I mean, not all country music, like select, and I highly recommend um listening to Landreth Brothers, Larkin Poe, what's the other one? Casey Musgraves. Is it Casey Musgraves? Casey Musgraves. really good songs. The lyrics are spot on, but I don't wear boots, and I don't have a belt buckle, and I don't wear a cowboy hat, and I don't have to be cowboy or country looking. But some of the country songs I like, and I hated country music back then. Like every time I see country music on MTV, boom, change the channel. Every time somebody mentions country, I'm like, I laugh at it and I diss it. And now it's like, now that I'm an adult, I become older, and I listen to the lyrics, and it talks about a simpler life and about matters about parenthood and marriage and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool. So now I get it. I get the country music. Keep it simple. Like you can't listen to Metallica all the time, right? I can't be listening to Megadeth all the time. Like sometimes those things don't make sense. Like what does that have to do with my life? You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it. Like the music that you listen to, right? Let's say you're listening to Metallica or you're listening to Nirvana. And what the heck is Aqua Seafoam Shame? Like, what does that have to do with, me raising my child or, being in my 40s or whatever? Like Aqua Seafoam Shame? I mean, but back in the day, I was still trying to figure that out. Like, if you listen to Nirvana, I mean, with Pearl Jam, some of their songs, obviously they made more sense. But it's like we own a piece of a song. Like when we like a song, we all feel like there's a part of the song that's meant for us. But as you get older, you start to filter things in your life, and you realize that, when you were younger, you wore clothes that wasn't really a representation of you. You listened to music that was not really a representation of your your situation. You ate food that you really didn't like. And as you get older and you have the power to choose and the power to purchase or acquire what you want, then it starts to become clearer. Yeah, and you start to narrow down the field, just like friends. When you're young, you're friends with everyone. You hang out with somebody at a concert, boom, you're friends. You smoke the joint with another guy, boom, you're friends. uh, you did taekwondo with this dude, boom, you're friends. And then as you get older, you realize that, there are people in your life that once you stop sharing an activity or a passion, you no longer really care for each other or really want to hang out with them. You know, it's just a situational thing. Um, Even smoking, like for those who smoke, like I never smoked. So for those who smoke cigarettes, maybe you had friends because you smoke together. Whenever you see each other at a party, you go outside and you smoke a cigarette together and you talk and you become friends. And then one of you stops smoking. So what happens then, right? And you no longer have that common bond of like smoking a cigarette. So yeah, so let's continue. CJ says a fad that I kind of don't like is sporterizing their arms. Ruin good guns will understand why they do it because it's made for hunting, and yeah, it's their own gun. Okay, sporterizing their arms. You meaning like modifying their CJ's talking about guns here, like real guns, like weapons, like rifles and pistols. So he's not into like modifying them and changing stock parts into modified parts. But
I don't like
CJ,
guns.
is this
Period.
something?
That's it.
Yeah, is this something that you didn't like before? Because we're talking about things that you didn't like before that you like now, not necessarily just things you don't like. Um, Things that you didn't like before that you like now. But CJ's kind of young, so maybe he later on his opinion about this will change because he's like 15. So
Right.
there.
So
Patrick says those wristbands that allegedly improve your performance. Oh yeah, so you didn't like those before, and now you like them. Oh, so we're talking about fads here.
I still
Remember,
have them.
Ice
I still have them. What do you call those? Power
power
balance. Power
bands.
balance. Power balance. I think you call it power
Power
balance.
balance. Remember the necklace? Remember they had the necklace too? That
That I
necklace
didn't.
where it's like
I didn't
circle.
get, but I
It's
have those
circle and
things
it's like
because I thought it
black and
it
like
could
it has
actually help
dots.
with. No, I didn't. I didn't think
And like
it could
you push
actually help
somebody,
me
they
with
won't
my
like
basketball.
fall.
Really? No, man, that's baloney. But even with those bands, I thought they
Oh,
were
NBA players
they
wore
were
them.
cool. Yeah, they look cool. That's about it. I didn't really think that it could help me with my balance and shit. I just thought it was cool to wear it, but then I stopped wearing it now. It's like those things that Kobe Bryant wears, like that arm sleeve that he wear. I wear it now. I don't know if it's doing
Yeah, like
something.
Iverson,
Yeah,
like
it kind of
the
yeah,
Iverson
yeah.
thing.
It kind of compresses your arm a little bit,
Leave it.
but I don't think it I don't know if it helps, but The only reason
Leave
why I
it.
use it is because it looks cool. I
The
think it looks
internet.
cool. So I use it psychologically. For me, it helps my game. But if it actually does something with my arm or
Yeah,
whatever, I
yeah,
do not know.
yeah. I'm not sure if that's like I don't know if those are fads, but I think they're it's like the Under Armour stuff. They introduced like well they didn't introduce, but they popularized those compressor shirts or whatever.
Dude,
Compressor
that actually
something
does
short, right?
something. That actually
Yeah,
does
yeah, because it
something.
does something. Because they
Yeah,
do
so
something, yeah.
so I still do
Um
wear that. I can't play basketball now without any compression wear. Back then,
yeah,
I
so
remember
there you
like,
go.
oh, I didn't need any compression wear. I
So
just
that's
had
not a
those.
fad, right?
No, it's not a
It's
fad.
it's
It's
it's it's
actually like it's technology.
it
It really
works.
helps
Yeah.
in terms of
I think
not sweating a lot. And because if you wear a cotton shirt, like back then, you would like cut. You know how those people in the NCAA in the states that they would have like those cotton shirts like cut, um,
yeah, yeah,
but it's
yeah.
not like
Their shirts are
totally.
always
It's
like,
not
yeah,
totally.
it's over their jerseys. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like right a
Yeah,
little
like
bit over their,
yeah, like
it's coming out
shorter.
of
Yeah.
their shoulder, and then
Yeah.
they have their own jersey. So they have, but
Yeah.
those are cotton materials, and if you sweat in it, it's kind of actually heavy. But if you have those
Gonna weigh you
compression
down.
wears,
Yeah.
yeah, it's it just absorbs it, and it's not heavy. It's still light, and yeah, and they have this, what do you call them? Like it's sanitary, whatever. Like it doesn't really, you don't smell bad or something. That's what it that's what
Yeah.
it says
Yeah.
there.
I mean, I agree. Those are that's like part of sports science, like it helps. Those things were researched, those things. But I think it also like with the fad and the trends. I think it also depends on the reason why you're into them. Like for example, there are people who wore Doc Martens because of the nature of their work. They needed to wear boots that were oil, acid, petrol, alkali resistant, right? That's what it says at the bottom of it. So, like
Hmm.
Doc Martens were actually originally work boots, and some people would wear Caterpillar boots because they work at a construction site, and it's a steel toe and
Yes,
it protects your toe.
yes,
If a so
yes.
but when it became a fad or a trend, when somebody wears that, sometimes you just assume that they're wearing it because it's popular, because you see high school kids wearing it and they're not at a construction site. You see guys in the office wearing it and they're not at a construction site. Why are they wearing work boots at a construction site? So whenever you see people wearing that, even if let's say they're wearing it out of necessity, like let's say you would wear a compression shirt because you play basketball and you play hardcore
Right.
basketball, and
Hmm.
there are guys out there who would wear that at the mall because it says Under Armour on it. Now,
What?
then the reason why he wore it is because it's a fad, it's a trend. But it's
Really?
not necessary.
That would
Yeah, I
be
mean,
funny.
yeah, no, it's true.
Or
Because I
maybe it
mean,
was
like,
just
dude,
coming home from the gym. Oh, come on.
dude,
Maybe it was
I
coming home from the
wore.
gym, man.
Okay, case in point, perfect example: Air Jordans. 80 to 90% of people who wear Air Jordans probably don't even use it to wear basketball, to play basketball, right?
Right.
But they started
But
out as
then
basketball
now,
shoes
yeah, yeah, but
because it's a trend.
now,
It's become a fad.
yeah, but
It's
now
different.
it has to become a fashion statement now. There
It's
are
a
a lot
fashion
of
statement.
Air Jordans that are coming back, there, especially the retro ones. You do not use them for basketball.
The
You
nines,
buy
the
them because,
11s, yeah,
yeah, you buy
the
them because
cores,
they're
the
lifestyle
cores.
shoes now. Like if you go to Nike.com, these shoes are not in the basketball category. They're in the lifestyle category. It's
Yeah,
amazing. So
yeah,
some
yeah.
people
It's
are,
changed.
I still play with some guys here who would buy those things and they would use them for basketball. I was like, I don't think that's made for basketball anymore.
I know, I
Because
know, I know,
back
I
then,
know, I
you
know.
know what I'm saying? Like
It's not.
it's the
Yeah, yeah,
same
yeah.
thing, but I don't
It's
think
not
it's made
anymore. No,
for. I don't think it's a performance shoe anymore. But they
no, it's not.
still
It's
use
not.
it. I'm
It's
like, no,
not.
you shouldn't
Not
use
anymore.
that
It's
because
not.
that's just for like lifestyle.
So,
Because they're like so vintage that they're
you want me
they're
to lighten up
lifestyle
the
now,
aircon?
lifestyle shoes, not performance shoes. So
That's
it's kind
true.
of
That's
weird,
true.
right? But then with the Under Armour, like those compression wears, I don't think you should wear them going to the mall. That would really look funny. I mean,
No, no, but I
right?
mean, like that's just that's how it is here. Like, especially in the Philippines. I mean, people here, you see the guapings wear it, you'll wear it. Like I said, like dude, what are you talking about? In the Philippines, you see people wearing their basketball jerseys from their liga at home. Can I go on pambahay, or they'll wear it at the mall,
See, okay, that's the thing. All right, let's
or sa
sidetrack a
beach.
bit.
They wear it at the beach.
Let's
They wear it
drift
at the
let's
beach.
drift a little bit. All right,
Pagligo
from the
sa
topic.
dagat, naka-basketball jersey.
That's
Everybody knows your last name.
okay. Hang on. Have you seen this in the states? Do people do this in the States, like the Filipinos there? Because the Filipinos here, they do that. Dude, they would go to the supermarket. They would go to some malls, and they'd be, or okay,
Wearing
not
the
malls,
jerseys.
right? So I mean, that would be, yeah, that would be reaching.
Okay,
But okay, I would
depends.
say they would go to the supermarket, right? I mean, still, it's a supermarket, and they would wear those things that they wear in the Philippines. They would have like that shorts. It's like actually like shorts, and it
Yeah,
would
yeah,
be borderline boxer city shorts. It looks
yeah.
like
I
a
know what you're
boxer, but
saying.
it's not.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
But
yeah.
they
I
have
know what you're saying.
that
Yeah,
like sando, like their a basketball jersey that's like
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like
Like the
already tight fitting, and they have their
yeah,
last name
yeah,
at the back. And
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
man, like for Japanese standards, that would be already underwear. But then they would
yeah.
go to the supermarket and buy stuff. They would actually go shopping, you
You're
know.
talking Pinoys
Uh,
here?
yeah,
They're,
they,
they're
they they they
Pinoys.
would do groceries and they would be
Do they
wearing
have
that.
like a
So I'm
gold
just like,
necklace? Do they have a gold necklace?
some of
If,
them
if
do,
you're-
some of them do.
right? Yeah.
So I
Usually, guys
actually
that wear
talked.
stuff like that, they
I
have a gold
actually talked
necklace.
to some of the people that I work with, and they're also like, well, they're not really just telling me that they're laughing at it, but they're like, oh, really? They're being polite. But they're also asking the question like, why do they dress that? I'm like, well, it's because in the
Okay,
Philippines we're a warm country.
we're gonna have an
They
episode.
wear that. It's
L-
normal, but
List this
it's just
down.
like
Best version of
crazy.
yourself, and also fashion horrors. We're not dissing other people. If they can carry it, carry it. You can wear it, flaunt it. But there are just things that, like, for me, I would never wear. Like a basketball jersey out in public. Like, you know, I'm even if it's like a Kobe one. Like, I know people like in the States, especially in LA, people walk around wearing their Kobe jerseys or whatever. That's fine. If you have your like vintage jerseys, you're like a, Chicano, whatever the heck you are, gangsta, whatever, go ahead, right? I mean, there was a time when people wore their caps with a tag on. Remember that? Did you remember that, Ice?
I
Like, I don't
think
know if
so.
it's a
I think
starter
so.
cap
Yeah,
or a new
there
era
were people
cap,
who did that.
but they
I
would
never did that,
leave
but
the tag on. The tag would be left
yeah,
on. When I was in high
and the
school,
stickers
I
as well.
remember when, yeah, the stickers as well, the holographic stickers. I remember when I was in high school, there was a fad when Chris Cross came out with Jump Jump. I mean, if you guys remember that, Jump Jump, Daddy Michael make you jump jump. Chris Cross, when that became big, they started the trend of wearing the pants backwards and the jerseys, baseball jerseys backwards. So you button down at the back and your pants it's backwards. Only the zippers at the back. So I actually went through that. I went through a stage wearing that because I became a fan of Chris Cross, and and people copied it. They wore their clothes backwards, and for a while, like maybe a run of a month and a half, my schoolmates were wearing it and nobody made fun of anybody because it was a fad. But then, obviously people realized it was stupid. So what I'm saying is
It is stupid.
that's a fashion
That's why you call
offense.
it back because they're supposed to
Yeah,
be, like you
yeah.
wear it, and that's supposed to be at the back.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's why
mean,
it's like the
it
front
was it was
because the front
stupid.
goes to the front.
It was stupid. I mean, it was beyond explanation. Okay, here's another thing that I would say is a fad. Or maybe a trend. I don't know. It's a fad because there's really no logical explanation to it. The ear piercings for guys. I mean, Jordan had it.
Right.
Brad Pitt had it. I had it when I turned 18. I had my ear pierced, just one ear, and then I had an earring, and I had it when I was 18 because in the States you can only have your ear pierced when you're 18 or above if you're a male, if you're a guy. So it meant I
Mhm.
was already 18 because I was tiny. So I needed every single sign to show to people that I was not a kid because I was tiny, I was short. So wearing an earring, people would say, "Okay, this guy's kind of like a grown up already." Like, "Oh, he's 18," so he's cool. Because I didn't need permission from the parents to get that. So that was kind of I think that was a fad. I don't know. You would usually know if a guy is like a '90s guy, if he was in high school during the '90s or college, if he got his ear pierced or he has a tattoo from way back. Because those were the things that I got. Almost all my friends back in the day in Ateneo all had ear piercings. All their ears were pierced. And Ice, you didn't get yours, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I
did you
never.
have friends
I
with
never
it?
had a
Or
piercing.
were you because
All
you're
of
from
them.
a younger batch. So maybe
All of
so
them.
maybe when
All of them.
they all had their ears pierced?
Yeah, all of
Oh
them.
man, you have good willpower because in the Philippines you can easily get your ear pierced. I mean in the States you have to be 18 unless you do it yourself at home, which was unhygienic. So you have good willpower, man. You don't have a tattoo. You never get your ear pierced.
Dude, I don't
You
drink. What are you
overcame a
talking
lot
about?
of.
What are
Yeah,
you
that's true. That's true.
talking about willpower?
You
Yes.
you survived a lot
Although
of fads.
although
And
my
looking
brother
back,
did.
right?
My brother did. The one in Canada, he did, and we had a big fight. We had a huge fight because my dad was adamant about us not getting those piercings. So when he
Yeah, yeah,
got
yeah,
it, we had a huge fight, and it was just like, all right, no big deal. I'll just like I'll just leave it, and it will go back to like mapikot lang yan. That's what he said.
yeah,
And yeah,
yeah,
it went back to like normal, like nothing happened. But then Aldon, right, Miko, he had his ear pierced, and I don't know if he still has it now, but well, he had it for a pretty long time. But me and my other brother, well, he had it, but then like it was just like a 1 day thing, and we never
yeah.
really like had our ear pierced. Master Yoda did pierce, had piercings. um that other friend as well. Then I think Flip Mode, I think it's, well, did he, I'm not sure. I thought he did.
I mean,
I,
Michael
I'm not
Jordan
100%.
had it. Like,
Yeah,
I
Michael
think I did
Jordan,
it
Richard
because
Gomez,
Jordan. Yeah, because Jordan had his ears pierced, and then I think
Bapings.
it was also, yeah, those guys had all their ears pierced locally, and then I don't know if the guys from Beverly Hills 90210 also had ear piercings. I'm trying to recall, but it was like the biggest thing when I was in fourth year high school, and then when I came home to the Philippines, like everybody had their, all my friends here had the ears pierced as well. So I think that's a fad. That was definitely a fad. That was a fad because there's really no reason why you do that. Like,
And you know what my
uh,
dad used to say to
sa may isang
discourage
uso
us
lang
from
yan, right?
having our ears pierced? He would say, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Because Mr.
Yeah, it's
Clean
like
had
this.
an ear piercing.
Yeah, does it
Mr.
have it both?
Mr.
Doesn't
Clean.
Mr. Clean have it both, or just
I
one?
don't know. Like he probably had it both. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
and in the
that's what he used to
states,
say.
in the states, the thing was, I don't know if it was an official like ruling or whatever, but if your ear is pierced on the left, you're straight. If your ear is pierced on the right, you're gay or you're
That's what
bisexual
they
or
said.
something. That
I
was,
mean, it doesn't really
yeah, that
matter.
was a
You
thing
have
in the
ear
states.
piercings. I mean,
Yeah, I know,
all
I
right,
know.
okay.
That
So,
was just to justify it.
did you read
Let's
this?
read more the
Like,
messages.
the ang imo sa Davao kay manghagad og sumbagay. Did you read that?
No, I haven't read that yet. That's from Michael, right?
Michael, yeah,
Yeah.
manghagad og sumbagay. And here's another one. I remember when we say emo back in the day, slashing of the wrist, having a negative mood, wanting to die, etc., were a thing. But now that mental health is being given importance, we now know how to deal with them. Yes, of course, man. I don't know if that was, emo was all about, but I mean, if that's what it was, I don't think it's a cool, it's a healthy, it's a healthy thing to be in,
Yeah.
because it's, yeah,
I went
mental
I
health
went through
is
that
is really
stage,
important.
but I wasn't, remember I told you Ice, my dad
Yeah,
saw my
you
song
made a
lyrics,
song.
I
I
wanna
wanna
die.
die. I wanna die right now. I wanna die.
I went through that stage, but I didn't look emo.
I wanna
Like
die.
I was still outgoing, I was still partying, I was still friendly. I wasn't like, nobody would be able to tell that I was going through something like that. But I don't think, because I accepted it that it was a phase. Like I went through it,
Mhm.
but papansin stage lang yun, papansin. Like when you're
Right.
a
When you
young
say
man,
you wanna
you're
die, it's
right.
like, oh, somebody kill me right now. It's like
Papansin.
some
Yeah.
some kind of
Like,
like that sort of, right? Like face. Yeah. When you're
yeah,
like
yeah.
having really a really tough time and you're like so stressed and you're like,
Yes.
oh, somebody kill me right now. I mean,
Like
it's that sort of thing. You don't really
I
mean like
remember
you want to
having a
die, die.
no, no, but I remember having a
Right, right.
fight with like one of my girl, I like a girlfriend back in the day, and I was like maybe 19 or 20 or whatever age, and I remember we had a fight, and she was like, she would talk to me, she whatever, whatever, and I was like actually thinking, just thinking in my head, I was like going, what if I died or I got hospitalized? Would she like, she'd be forced to visit me, or she'd be forced to go there, and
Right.
and,
Or
and
maybe my parents will be more compassionate towards me
yeah, yeah,
if I,
yeah,
get hospitalized or slash my wrist or whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
I
but
think,
I
yeah,
never
that's sort of a face. I
I
would
never
agree.
thought
But not a
serious.
healthy
I never
face.
really. No, 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 not a healthy phase, but it's a phase. Like guys go through that. You're confused, man. You don't know what's go. Papansin. You want attention, but nobody's paying attention to you because you're a useless part of society. You're not employed yet. You're still not finished with school. You have nothing to your name. So you're trying to find a reason to be noticed. That's why at that stage, that's the stage you want to buy the Air Jordans. That's the stage you want to buy the Doc Martens because those are the things that will define you. For you, that's like, that's your social status. because you're nothing. We were nothing. When I was 15, 18, whatever, I was nothing. I had nothing. I wasn't a homeowner. I didn't,
I have
I was
nothing,
driving a
nothing,
hand-me-down car. So I came
nothing.
up with a song. I want to die. when, when my
I
dad
wanna
read it, my
die
dad was
right
like,
now.
my dad was like, Anak, are you okay, Anak? Because, maybe he thought, coming from a broken family or whatever, it was getting to me or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm totally fine. Just buy me a
It's like, no,
watch
I
or
was
whatever,
like singing that song. I don't want to die. What are you kidding me? I love my
No,
PlayStations. I'm just gonna
of
play
course.
PlayStation right now.
The heck,
This
man.
is
For
it's
for
a
the people out
thing. Like
there,
that's what rockers
whoever,
do. They compose songs like that. They don't really
unless
mean.
you have serious mental issues, if you ever like entertain that thought in your head, just whack off. You know, just ilabas mo lang yan. Sama ng loob lang yan. Ilabas mo lang
That's
yan.
true.
What's
See,
that?
that's like I think
Be
like
stressed.
okay, going back to what we talked about episodes ago. It's these intrusive thoughts they come in and go. It's like one of those things like, oh, what if what if I just drive my car off the cliff, like like these
Yeah,
are those
I have
random
those
thoughts that
thoughts
would
too.
like, yeah,
I have
right,
those
yeah.
thoughts.
Everybody goes through that. So sometimes when you are in a very delicate situation, sometimes they get stuck, so you don't really have serious mental issues. I mean, this would show if you really do have mental issues. You would know
Yeah,
a
yeah,
person if they have like mental issues, right? So but normally
yeah.
all people go through this, like everybody does. Like,
Yes,
see, Rod,
yes,
I was just saying,
yes.
like, Rod went through it. Like me,
Don't
half the
think
time I'm like, yeah,
too
right.
much. Yeah, unless
Yes, do not
it's
do not
for
take
real. If you really need help, get
exactly
help. You know what I'm saying?
right. It's like do
But
not.
don't
Sometimes
dwell
our
on it.
thoughts doesn't really need to be taken seriously because there's just like so many junk channels inside it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just let it be there. Accept it. It's like I
It's
mean,
like
it's just there.
it's like
It's just in there.
you have jock itch, like your balls itch or something, and then you Google it, right? And then it says herpes or something. Then you're freaking
Right?
out.
Yeah,
Then you're like, oh
yeah.
crap, herpes will kill you.
That's a recipe
You're
for
not even
intrusive
diagnosed
thought.
yet.
Yes, yes.
It could
Dexter,
be
welcome.
just yeah. So anyway, all right. Let's continue
Yes.
with the
Okay.
messages.
CJ is right. Overthinking sucks, and it doesn't
Yes,
help.
overthinking
It doesn't
sucks.
help.
That's true. Don't overthink. Don't
And some
overthink.
people can't
It's
help
okay
it.
to
So
overthink.
yeah, yeah. If
Yeah,
if you're
just
already
don't.
overthinking, just find somebody to talk to. Because I mean,
Yes.
it really does help. If you're overthinking,
Yeah.
you find
You'll
somebody to
realize that some people have it worse.
yeah, I know. Like you'd be like, mas buang man din sa kuha.
Mas grabe pa palang problema
Mas
nito.
buang pa din. See, that's the thing. I was just talking about this with my wife. I was like, see, in the Philippines, you don't really get to have these,
You
like
don't have
serious
time to
mental
think
issues
about it.
because
Yeah,
yes, because like
yeah.
the moment you see your
There's so
friends,
many
you'd be like,
people.
"Ah, mas buwang pa din ng isa." So
I
you like, oh,
know.
I'm pretty
Because like,
normal. It's fine.
it's,
Yeah. So
because
we all find something funny about things, right?
yeah,
That's how
that's
we
true.
cope.
That's the thing in the Philippines. Yeah. Yeah. Nobody takes things
So
seriously. Like literally, literally nobody takes things seriously. Like you think you're in trouble because you have like two kids and you're sending them off to college. Dude, you have a neighbor who doesn't have a job. He's just hasn't paid his rent in years and is
I
drinking,
know,
partying with his friends, and he's got 10 kids. But he for some
I know,
reason
right?
he can still make it work, right? For some reason they're
Yeah,
all still alive the next day, right? For
yeah.
some reason they're all
I
still
mean,
alive
if
the next day.
you know what, just go out and find that random person who's just like living on the streets and talk to them, and then you will start you would start making sense of your life now.
Yeah.
That's I think that would really help. I think. All right. Okay.
I mean,
We have
think about
messages.
yeah. Just go ahead.
All right. Okay.
Um, yeah. So
Okay.
so we're,
Okay. Here's well, are you talking about the what are you talking about, Patrick? The compression wears.
yeah, he
Bam
is. Yeah,
Adebayo,
that's the
like.
one. But the thing, there's also one that Dwight Howard wears, and I don't know if the NBA still allows it, but it kind of has padding. It actually has padding, like it's padded.
All right, like those.
So like
It's
for
padded.
physical
Like,
contact, like Dwight Howard
all right.
wears it because he plays center.
Well, I think
So
that's fine
it
as long
gets
as
elbows.
if it's just like
It's kind
foam
of like
padding,
thin
I think
foam.
that's
It's like thin
fine.
foam.
If
Yeah,
it's a
it's like
foam, then it's
padding.
fine, right?
Yeah, it's
I
kind
mean,
of
if
fat. It's
it's
like
metal,
padding.
then that's a different story. But if it's just like foam, I think it's not.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
I think I know the NBA allowed that for a while. I don't know if it's still
Yeah, those
allowed, but
like
there's
Nike
also those
armars. I think I think they have
there,
those, but
there are also those
because
tapes,
they're
guys,
expensive.
those color tapes, the color tapes that
Hmm.
the tennis players wear that they put on their elbows, and sometimes baseball
Right.
players wear it. It's like supposedly those are like medicinal tapes, or those like
No,
it's like a
I
gauze.
think it's just like sort of taping because there's like there's like what we call like taping. Instead of wearing those armbands and whatnot, they kind of like just go for taping because taping like helps with whatever. Like it's like an ortho thing, right? So it's yeah something to that effect. Yeah,
Okay,
Anthony
hold on.
Davis
Yeah,
wears one.
yeah. Dexter
Yeah,
says, "I really need
PSTO
help.
tape.
One man team ako ngayon dito sa bahay." Dexter,
All right, okay.
what kind of help? Like you need a helper? What's going on? Like I really need a one man team ako ngayon dito sa bahay. So yeah, are you going through something? How's your mom? I mean, how's Nanay Baby? CJ says the one I want to talk to is not talking to me so far. So yeah, I'll try next time. Well, that's the thing, Siege. You have to adapt, man. If you knock on one door and it doesn't open, it doesn't mean you stop knocking. You knock at the next
Right.
door. Take it from Tito Iceman. He was a salesman before, and if you try to offer to sell a pencil to 100 people, sharo walay tulo or duha diyan na will buy. I
Mhm.
mean, but
True. True.
but you gotta,
Because I think what he's
you
trying to
can't.
say is that there's this particular person that he wants to talk to, but then that person doesn't want to talk to him. Is that what it is? Because if that's a problem,
No, no, because he
then
said because he said that if you have a problem, talk to someone. Like it doesn't have to be
yeah,
that person that doesn't want to talk to you. You can just talk to
yes,
someone, right?
it's just like yeah, it's just like anybody. Like find a friend.
Yeah,
I'm sure you have a friend, right? Or yeah, I
yeah.
mean
I'm sure he has
family.
friends.
Doesn't have to be friends. Like when I was going through something back in March, I just started talking to my sister all the time. Like I would like call her any time of the day. Like driving home from work, I would like call my sister. Then I would start talking to my sister and my mom. I didn't because my friends are like really busy. Then after I think after a few weeks, I started like having this show with Rod. So like I think it really helps if you have that sort of release and if you
Yeah,
talk to a
yeah.
lot of
Same
people and you
here.
know what their
Same
situation
here.
is, it helps you get in touch with reality. It helps you realize that, wow, there's a real world out there.
I mean,
What's in your head, they're just all
think
thoughts and they're
about
not
it.
real.
Think about it, Ice. How fortunate are we? Like, just it's just the two of us, and yet we have like what, one, two, three. We have at least maybe 6 or 7 people joining us who are
Right. That's
listening
true.
to us. I mean, it's hard enough to have like maybe in my house, I can't even force my son to listen to me. But when we do through this thing, it's a
Rex,
channel
Rex,
for us to have people. Because if we talk like if we talk about
we
these
said
things right to our wives, you think they'd sit there and like listen to us with interest and like, okay, yeah, we get you. Like, no, they'd be like, what the heck are you talking about? Shut up. I'm watching Squid Game. Shut up. But, for some reason, we have Patrick, CJ, Dexter, Starks, John Yap, Gab. These guys, Joe Boy, these guys decided instead of browsing on Facebook, instead of watching Netflix, instead of playing PlayStation, instead of jerking off, they decided to listen to our show. And, we appreciate that, because
but
like I
trust me,
said,
they
your
do jerk
energy
off
feeds off
after the
of us.
show. They do
I hope
jerk off
it's
after the show.
after, not during.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah. Well,
please.
please, that would be weird. If you jerk off during the show, that would be
Hey,
weird.
Ice. It would help if you showed your nipple once more, Ice. Come on.
Da,
Okay,
da,
okay.
da,
Uh, if anybody was jerking off during the show, it would be the one who's not commenting. Okay, let's check who's not commenting.
Who's not commenting right now?
It's
Jet
Joe Boy.
Boy,
It's
Jet
Joe
Boy.
Boy.
Oh my,
Joe,
it's Joe
Joe Boy.
Boy.
Joe just said what's up and like didn't say anything else after. We know
Deciding
what's
to
up, Joe
jerk
Boy.
off.
Your wang is up.
All right, see now everybody's commenting. Even like ha ha, Stark Step is
Yeah.
just like, all right, I'm just gonna ha ha. Right, everybody's
Right,
typing
sometimes
something right now.
dude,
Mukhang guilty.
the thing with drinking with your friends, dude.
All of a
We
sudden,
always have
Attorney
this
T or Judge T would like start commenting, like, hey guys, what's up? How are you guys?
giggity, 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 giggity. They're
Giggity,
like
giddy, giddy.
Quagmire, Quagmire. Get, go, go, giggity, giggity. Man, I love Quagmire. Don't make fun of Quagmire. But here's the thing, though. It's like you always have like this drinking sessions with friends, right? I should be drinking whiskey right now. I have whiskey, so one of these episodes, I'm
Dude,
gonna
feel
drink
free.
whiskey
Feel
and
free.
make
Yeah.
this like a tagay, like a
Yeah.
Here's my
Okay, let's
suggestion
do
too
that
for the
next
guys out there to
Saturday.
drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, since we can go to bars, let's drink. Let's have like a little drinking session and let's see who gets drunk. Like John Yap, I know he drinks. I know everybody drinks. Bring your poison of choice and let's have fun. But like sometimes you be with your friends, right? You'll be drinking, and there's always this friend who's like you don't know where he stands. Like he's the kulang kulang one of the group, it'll always be like, he'll say something like, "Bay, usay, sawa na ko sa chicks ba?" Like he'll say something like that.
Yeah, there's always that friend. They would
Right?
say something
Right?
really stupid, and you'd be like,
Like,
"Hang,
huh?
what? What? What did you say? Like,
Bay, say,
huh?"
sawa na ko sa chicks, usay. Kasi actor na,
Not
actor.
okay. Not in my
What, you want
circle,
men
but
now?
I've met, I actually met guys like that. Like, okay, not
Dude, the
in my
circle is
circle, but
big, dude.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
okay, but then I'm talking
wala
about
may,
like
wala
the
may
people that I
intimate
constantly hang
circle.
out
Like,
with, right? But then
yeah, yeah.
I've met one of these guys who actually has a reputation of actually saying things like that, like,
Like blurting
"Oh, I'm so
things
tired of
out that
women."
don't
I'm
make
like,
sense.
What?" Like, all right, cool, and like chime in then. I'm like, no, no, this is not what I'm trying to say. Though they mean something else, but they kind of like it doesn't come out
Sawa na ko
right
sa chicks.
sometimes.
Kapoy na ng chicks. Kapoy na ng chicks. How can you be kapoy ng chicks? What are you talking about? It never gets old, man. Come on. The day you say that is the day you should die. The
The
day you
day that
stop
you
desiring
should
women,
die.
if you're a straight guy, assume you're a straight dude. I mean that should be
Okay,
normal. Like,
Dexter saying, "You made me laugh, guys. Gwapo na. The day, kay nakalimot ako sa lasa sa beer ug tanduay ug impe." Or, emperador, right?
okay,
Alright,
okay. Empe. Empe, here's the thing. I'm gonna talk about Empe because I went through this stage. Now we're talking about things we didn't like that now we like. Okay. I was never a gin drinker. I hate anything puti. Ginebra, vodka, Gilbey's,
but
whatever.
sa
I
babae
was not
mahilig ka
a
sa puti.
babae may gusto puti. But sa inumin, no.
Okay.
No way.
No, alright, okay.
Traidor for me.
Alright, cool,
So
cool.
so I have friends who, like, dalawa lang yan eh. Back in you're in college, it's either you're drinking Red Horse or you're drinking Tanduay, right? Those are the only two choices. Those are the only things we could afford, and there weren't that many brands yet. Then when Emperador came out, Emperador was like smoother. It was like it wasn't as bad because the thing with Tanduay is like the first shot is the hardest. Like first shot with Tanduay is like, oh, but then the tagline habang tumatagal lalo sumasarap is so true. It applies if you're a Tanduay drinker, that's true. The longer you drink Tanduay, like it doesn't get gross anymore. Now, there was this time when we actually shifted to Emperador. We were like drinking Tanduay. Then we shifted to Emperador because it was smoother. But you know what? And because we hated Tanduay. And now I'm like, all of a sudden, well, not recently because I haven't been drinking hardcore, but just as far as I can remember when I was still drinking like local liquor, Tanduay, dude, it's like you go back to Tanduay. Like I don't know, people still probably are into MP, but I went back to Tanduay. Like I'm nothing against Emperador, it's still good, but you go back to something that back in the day was goes. I don't. It changes. I don't know what it
What's
is.
Junior Lapad?
Um,
Junior Lapad, is it Tanduay?
Tanduay. That's Tanduay. That's Tanduay.
Alright,
Emperador
'cause
also has the
alright, 'cause may
small one, but
alright, okay.
yeah, you go back to
Yeah, my
Tanduay. See,
dad's a
Dexter
Tanduay
agrees.
person. He
Yeah, you go
Right?
back to
Tanduay still
Tanduay,
the best?
man.
I think so. Because
You try
like, not even añejo.
Emperador,
My dad
Generoso,
my dad
everything.
never
Añejo?
yeah, I don't think my dad ever asked me to buy añejo. Like, well,
I know. It's so hard to
when
find.
I was growing up,
It's so,
that too. That's
I
probably one of the
only
reasons
I
why
only know
he didn't ask me
Añejo
to buy
because it's a
añejo.
PB. It was a
It's a
PB18.
PB18,
They can never. Nobody. I don't think
but
Añejo
nobody
had a
really drinks
distributor
it.
in Davao. Did we have a distributor in Davao? Did you ever hear
Hang
somebody
on,
say,
is
"Bay, inom ka
okay.
Añejo"? What the
Tanduay is
heck's Añejo?
Latandenya, right? Tanduay is
Yeah,
Latandenya, right? So añejo is like
yeah.
what? Asia Brewery?
I don't know what Añejo is. I've never had Añejo in my life. I don't think I've ever seen a
Okay, but
bottle of
growing up,
Añejo in
like
my
I
life.
said, I was never sent to the store to get an añejo. It was always
Tanduay.
Tanduay. For the most part, Tanduay. Then there was a phase that my dad was drinking Emperador, but then he went back to Tanduay at some point. So yeah, I think Tanduay is the
Yeah.
best. Okay, hang on.
Next year's right.
So ano ko sa
Because
chicks kay gusto na niya Talabels ka be? All right, okay. And I remember there's this song back in the day, this is from Patrick, that has the lyrics, "Kaya ngayon bakla na lang ang aking iibigin."
yeah, what the heck song was that?
Yeah, what song was that? Eh, Patrick, what kind of songs were you listening to back in the day? I'm curious now.
I've
See,
never
here's the
heard those
thing.
lyrics in my life.
No, things are slowly coming out. Are you guys drinking right now? Because I can feel it. It's actually slowly coming out. They'd be like, "Pare, kamusta na
No, but
pare?" And then like
I mean,
slapping you on the
like back
thigh.
in the day, you would never say ibig ka ng bakla, right? It's always the bakla ibig sa'yo, right? I mean, that's a pretty
yes.
desperate move. I mean, back in the day, we're talking back in the day, right? Usually, right? It's like you allow them to you don't really fall in love with them. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're straight, like I'm saying, like you know. But this was back in the day, so people were very kind of it wasn't that open yet. The world wasn't that woke yet, so to speak. It was popular on the radio somewhere around 2009, 2010s.
All right. Okay. So
Okay.
that means I was already here. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay. You
familiar with
remember the
that because
song
I was already
Ice?
here. What?
Do you remember this song?
All right. Sing it.
Baka kun ka, liar, evil ka.
Yes. 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 I remember
Baka
that.
kun ka,
That was before I
liar.
left. We're evil ka.
You know
That was
who
before
sings
I
that all
left,
the time at
right?
the station? You know who sings that at the station all the time when he
Who?
walks in?
Who? Who?
Mao, Chuck Mao. Of all people, he's like, and I've never heard of the song. And he comes in and he goes, "Baka kun ka, liar Eve." I'm like, what the heck?
He,
What are you
dude,
singing? He's like, no, it's a
are you
song, dude. I
are
heard
you
it in the
sure?
Jeep.
he
He's like,
he
I'm
can
not,
he cannot even pronounce Bisaya words properly.
dude.
Can
He
he even
was singing
pronounce?
it.
Can
You
he
can
say the word
ask him.
bakakon?
He was, and he didn't hear
Bakakon
it. He
ka,
didn't. He didn't hear it in the Jeep
liar,
because he was on the Jeep.
evil ka. All right,
Because Mao
okay.
doesn't ride the Jeep. He heard it in the Jeep because he was right next to him and the volume was so loud. And it was like, what the hell, dude? I felt
He
bad for the
overheard it.
passengers.
Was he
Yeah, you know
eavesdropping? Was
how.
he like eavesdropping? Like, all right,
Yeah,
okay. So maybe Chuck was like, maybe they're listening to Killer Bee. Then bakakon
yeah, yeah.
ka.
Okay,
What the heck was
Maybe
that?
Nixon was on board. Maybe the technician was on board, and the DJ was late, so they play all these crappy songs.
Yeah, and that song was actually for the DJ who was late.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably the DJ the night before said, "I will be there
No,
early,"
no,
so they
no,
played
no,
it.
no.
Bakakon ka, liar, evil.
Late kang DJ ka,
It is actually for.
bakakun ka,
Dude,
nagpa-BJ ka. And we're not even drinking tonight, folks. Can you imagine if we were
see, we're not
drinking?
even drinking yet. We're not even drinking yet.
See?
Imagine if there's a
Okay.
bit of alcohol in it.
See, this is the thing. This is how this show is gonna work. It just has to be a man show because we tried everything. We tried to be wholesome. We tried to be like a travel thing show, whatever the heck. We tried everything. All right, we're trying to entice. We're trying to
It's
entice women to
true.
join. We're trying to be like universally appealing. And at the end of the day, we realize that we are in our
It's
element
just
when
a
it's a
man
man
show.
show.
All right,
It's
it's
a
a man
man
show. You want to
show.
listen to
You
us? All
know,
right, yeah, let's just have fun
so
here.
that's just how it is. That's I think that's always been our element. That's why it worked back in the day because it's a
I know.
man
That's why we
show.
just have to
And
keep. We just have to keep on the lane that we're supposed to be in because it did pretty well for
yeah,
us.
let's not try to do what those other guys are doing. That's not
I
our
know, right?
thing.
Like that's what I've been telling Reese. See, Reese is one of these devil advocates who's always trying to tell me things. I'm like, that's not. I
Which
know
is a
what I'm
woman.
doing. This,
You can't
I
let a
know,
woman
right?
run a band
Hey,
show.
darn it! Like she would always say stuff, and I'm like, hey, we're trying to do what we used to do back then, and we are going to gain followers slow, like little by little, not overnight. Because I think they're like just like I think she wants it to be like, all right, in one snap, everything's back. Like, no, it has, like I said, it's like a trend. It has to gain traction at some point, and people need to know about this from like word of
Yeah,
mouth or whatever,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
doesn't need to
yeah,
be like right away. It doesn't need to. Man, so I've been like,
yeah.
oh, it's
That's
it's
that's why you notice on YouTube a lot of some channels they work because like think about this, right? You know, we all probably have entertained this in our heads at one time or another watching YouTube. We watch YouTube and then we see a channel and it has like 10 million subscribers and maybe 20 million views. And you look at the video and it's mukbang. It's just a Korean chick eating Korean food or just Jollibee or whatever the heck she's eating, right? It's mukbang. She had 20 million views. Now you're probably thinking, hey, I can do that. I might as well just eat and I'll have 20 million views. But no, that person was put on this earth to do that. Just like Ice and I were put on this earth to do this. We're not. If we did mukbang, you think we'd even get 20 views? You know what I'm saying? It's like
it's
that's
true.
just not. It's not where you fit in. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
You have to focus on your strong
and
points
you
because we
might
have our
think,
own strong points.
yes. Yeah, we have our strong points. I mean, we should have figured that out by now. I mean, we've been in radio for so long. We, we're still
It's
figuring
not
it
because
out.
we listen to
But
these people, like for example, Reese, like always telling me stuff about like,
no,
you
no,
know,
no, no.
not.
Her heart is in the right place. Her heart is in the
Yeah, I
right
know,
place
I
because
know,
she's
I know.
helping us out because this is social
We're just
media and we're
we're just
stuck in
like
radio
stubborn.
world and
Yeah,
there are
we're just
things
stubborn.
in social media that works differently. Like what she said, like has to be packaged because we're like
Yeah, but that's not how we do it.
we
I don't want to like.
yeah,
Okay,
we do it
I know
live.
that.
That's true.
Okay, that's how people do it, and I can do it if somebody has like if I have a team who would like, all right, I'll do this for you, blah blah. But
But it's still
dude,
not the same. It's
no,
not the same.
yeah,
It's not
it's
like
not the
this. It's
same,
still not
right?
going to be like
And I'm
this.
not
It's
even
not the
comfy
same.
with that. Like I would look at those people doing whatever, doing their thing on YouTube and whatnot, and yeah, they have all those cuts and whatever, and probably as many takes as they could. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine, but I don't think that's for me. It's just like
Okay, I have a
different. It's
question.
we
I have a question,
yes.
and maybe you should ask Reese this. Is it okay to like be doing a show like on YouTube or whatever, and I'm consuming liquor? Because I mean, we don't know. There might be rules on our streaming, or there might be rules on
No, I
Facebook.
don't think
Like,
so. I mean, no,
oh yeah, what the heck, right? These TikTok girls are showing their nipples for crying out loud, right? I mean, you can always justify that. I
yeah.
mean,
I mean, there's no rule about like drinking something. I mean,
I was
dude,
just
people.
worried because we don't know because I mean like like this is a live show and like because I really want to like I want to like have my whiskey and instead of
I think
inviting
that's
people
totally
over,
fine. That's so. I mean, it's not like
it
this
should
is
be totally fine.
broadcasted like publicly. It's like when they click it, they chose like they've chosen
Yeah,
to click
that's
it.
true.
They've decided
That's
to
true.
click it, so they know what's in it, right?
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean,
That's
all
true. That's
these.
true. All right.
I mean, is it there a rule for like seeing naked people and doing love making? Like,
I
dude,
mean, dude,
people go there and they
dude,
click it. That's
you,
like
you
worse
know
than
you,
drinking alcohol.
you know what usually happens to me? Like there's always this like downward spiral, Raj. You okay, what are you doing?
All right,
Huh? Oh, like, there's always this downward spiral where we're like I'd be watching videos on YouTube, right? And like I know on
right,
Facebook. The thing with Facebook is it's like once you start watching a certain video, it connects you to all the videos that's similar to it. So like I
right.
start watching a video of like a jeepney driver nakipagsuntukan with like this motorcycle kamote rider, right? Next thing I know, I'm like 20 videos down. I'm seeing like 50 people fighting. Like and I'm like I'm so high strung already. Like I'm looking for a fight. And my dad's like, Pa, what?
Right. See,
My son would be like, Pa, what?
bullshit. Matulog ka na. Upakan kita ngayon.
There,
Upakan kita dyan eh.
there was even one that said, hey, hold on, what is that thing called? The rap battle that's Pinoy? Flip flop?
I,
Fit
I, I, have,
flop?
I
Fit
have no idea. I have
what,
no
what is
idea. I don't
that
know what that
term?
is.
That's not flip flop.
Anybody
It's
who
like
knows? Flip flop?
fit flop. Flip top. Flip top. It's flip
Flip
top.
top. All right. Okay, it's flip top.
So the headline was like flip top battle. So I clicked it, right? I thought it was like flip top battle. So I clicked it. It's freaking truck driver and a bus driver like shouting insults at each other. Like it was a real fight. They were really fighting. Ulol ka, gago! I'm like, I mean, this is how Pinoys are. They can find something funny out of anything. Because like
See?
if it's
I,
like
mm,
if, yeah, flip
uh,
top battle, and you think about it, it is a flip top battle. Check
okay,
out
start saying like
Doug
check
Brock.
out Doug Brock. His guest usually drinks during interviews. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure there's. I mean, there's like a
same
show,
with Graham
drunk
Graham Norton.
history.
Graham Norton. Graham Norton has his guests. He serves them champagne or wine or whatever. That's why when you watch Graham Norton show, this is a British talk show. He
Right.
invites celebrities over. And I was just talking with you and Pinky about these episodes. The reason why it's more interesting than let's say late night with David Letterman or whatever who else has a show in the states is because he serves them liquor and they get tipsy in the middle of the show. So they start to they let their inhibitions down. They just like they start to laugh a lot. I mean, you see the episodes of Graham Norton for those that are not familiar with it. If you watch it, he serves them like champagne. I don't know if they're allowed. I don't know if the states is different. I don't know if this in the states they're allowed to serve liquor to their guests in a nightly talk show, but it's a late night talk show. They should be able to, and I think they should, unless they
Should
have to
be.
drive home, right? because that's really what
Okay.
makes it different,
Mm,
right?
mm.
Yeah.
True.
Doug
True. Okay,
Buck.
let's go back to the messages.
Yeah.
Tanduay Senior, Man Original, then here comes Tanduay Junior. All right, okay. Then Patrick's giving us a reference. Is this a reference to a song? Gikumot kumot sa dagkong kamot? Probably.
It sounds like a
Gikumot
yo-yo
kumot
or like a
sa
Max.
dagkong
It sounds like
kamot.
a yo-yo song or a.
Oh, those Bisaya
Have you
songs
seen?
were funny back in the
Have,
day.
have you seen that meme of like a long neck, a tanduay long neck, and like
No,
it
no.
shows you
What's the
like
meme?
if you like if for every amount drank consumed, like there's a consequence. Like okay, this level, mag in English na. If you drink this much, magita nagsumbagay. Yan yung nakadagan na inom, muhilak, muhilak, and then the bottom part, mamayot. For those that drink
Okay,
tanduay, you
hey.
can relate, right? Because it's
Right.
true. Like
So
you
here's
drink
the
with your
thing.
friends, all of a sudden, like they start crying. Galugaw, lagi ba yun? It's good, hindi ko ba eh? Like you have a friend, magmaoy. You have a friend, mag-English, English. You know, it's good thing is that I think. You know what I'm saying? And Iceman doesn't drink, but he almost all of his friends drink. So he knows what I'm
They
talking about.
do.
He's
They do.
witnessed all of this. He's witnessed the
Mm.
transformation of people when they drink. And
Yeah, even the mamayot
we
part. Yes, I trust me. Yeah, I think that's true. Because I've witnessed that too. The mamayot part. Yeah, I'm not kidding, man. I kid you not. I did have friends at some point who got drunk, really drunk, that they were all right, mamayot. For some, it's what it was supposed to be a trade off for something, right? It's not like they just went mamayot. It was like there was a catch to it. So like they decided like I'm mamayot, na, brad. So all right, fine, cool. I wasn't in it. All right, I didn't. I'm not just saying this because no, I wasn't really in it, but they did. And well, I don't know if they went through it, but that's what before we parted, that's what they said. "Mamayot sa amin." All right, go your merry way, people. Go your merry way. Oh, I,
I'm
I
telling
wish
you,
you luck.
man. I've seen all of that. Ni away nihilak. I have a friend who's notorious, and I'll drop his name, like Mamay Brando's uncle. Dude, he's drunk when he keeps freaking repeating his
I,
lines. He keeps saying the same thing over and over.
Hang on, hang on. I really
What?
agree with Patrick. You see, I've
What is
heard this
it?
before. I heard this before. I heard it. Like I actually had a friend who said this. Mura naman yung juice, oy. Nga nung gibi. Yes, exactly. I had an encounter like
Yeah.
that with someone.
And,
Criticizing the
and
drink. The next thing you know, mura nagway
yeah.
bukot. Oh my
Of
goodness.
course, because the tanguero is going to make a mental note. Ah, murag juice.
Mura
Okay,
juice
let's give
there.
you a special mix. 90% gin, 10% island lime.
DJ Tanguero on the mix. All right.
And then the next day, it's like, ano lumiya?
Burian Mangkuni. Ah.
Okay, magsuka-suka ang
Magsuka-suka ang
kanon
kanon ug
noodles.
noodles lagi manggawas
Yeah,
na
it's
sa
all the
ilong
same
tanduay pa
story, man.
more. Yeah,
It's all the same
cool.
story.
Cool. I
Okay,
mean,
hold
see,
on. How
that's
did we
that's
get to this conversation from our topic?
because it's so fad. We're talking about fad, and we landed here. Holy crap! Let's go back to fads, people, because I think we
Okay,
were
let's go
talking
back. Let's go
about.
back. Let's go back.
Let's go back
Okay. I s-
to fads. All right,
Actually,
okay. Because I think there was a fad
okay.
about like I think the song. It was probably about the song. Anyway, all right. So fads, and yeah, you
It's new wave.
just
New wave. New wave music. Was that a fad? No, no. A new wave music, not a fad. Alternative music, that was not a fad. Grunge music, that was
no,
not a
no,
fad. You
no, no,
think?
no. I don't think so. I don't think
Okay,
so.
so those were
I think they
legit
would just
trends,
like
right?
come
Those
back,
were
right? Yeah, they were actually trends, and they
yeah,
would just
those are
come
legit
back at some
trends.
point. Like even like the EDM now, they have a touch of like this new wave era. So it's like it's no, it wasn't a fad. As someone who doesn't drink, I'm usually the tanguero, and I agree. All right, okay, cool. All right, anyway,
Yeah.
fads. What else? What are the fads?
Fashion,
How about
fashion.
those? How about those anvil? Do you say anvil or ambil? Ambil,
The pants,
ambil
the
pants.
pants, the jeans, the
Pa,
jeans.
paambil ba? Paambil na ba? Because I
Is
was
that
young. I was young.
is
I
that
was
bell
in
bottom?
high school.
Is that bell
Yeah, I think
bottom?
it's a bell
Ambil?
bottom type. But why? What's the reference for ambil? Ipaambil na, ipaambil. Because like
What? Yeah,
they
probably
would
the
like
like bell bottoms, probably. Ambil, like bell
yeah,
bottoms.
yeah,
I don't know. It's
but
called
here's the
ambil.
thing. Like they would kind of repair your jeans, you know? They would like attach like
Add.
those
They would add. They
um
would add like
yeah, you
they would
know?
add like a
Yeah, yeah,
fabric,
yeah.
like a
Yung
fabric,
mga
right? Yeah,
tinastas,
yeah.
right? They would just like sew an additional fabric to it. So they would add
Dexter's ambil
to
pinaipit.
the
Pang
jeans.
girls man yan, kaya pang sales lady ng ambil. Lahi po na na ambil. Tambis. Igagaw na sa tambis.
I'm really gonna pinaipit. No, I think they were yeah, right? Like I don't know if you Google
Baston
it
na
if it would come
pinaipit.
out.
Ambil is
Yes,
like this.
baston.
Like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's like bell
I think that's
bottoms.
like part of hip hop, maybe to like so that your shoes won't be seen. Because I mean, I remember there was a time when like guys were wearing shoes, like we would be wearing like thick shoes, but they were not. We will not be seen because your pants are ambil, right? It's like it's kind
Let
of
me
like
Google it. Right. Okay.
wearing DMs in school. Maybe ambil is just like a Davao thing. I don't even know. Yeah, baston ang pinaipit, baston.
Yes, baston ang
Uh, where
pinaipit.
that's you put zipper and stuff.
Well,
Now
listen,
it's like
Anvil
skinny
brand
jeans.
pants. It's actually a brand,
It's a
Anvil,
brand. Oh,
and
maybe that's where it's from.
probably
Maybe the
right. They want to make it look
elephant
like
pants. Yeah,
Anvil.
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
what it is?
Elephant pants. Yes, yes. Starks. Yep, you're right. They're like kind of like elephant pants. Yeah, because they're big. They're like loose. I don't know if the Backstreet Boys wore these kind of pants. Maybe the Guapings did.
No, no, no,
Maybe
no, no, no. I think they were wearing loose fit pants. Those
okay.
loose
But
fitting pants, but
so
they're
who was
not like
wearing
I
the
don't think they were.
Ambil pants? The rockers. Was wearing it?
I don't
Because
know. I
I,
mean,
w- I
people
would
people back
assume,
in the
yeah,
day.
Levi's 521. That's right.
Yes.
That's the one. Levi's 521 is Ambil fit. Yeah. Yeah. Breakdown on brand. I think Breakdown it's a brand. Breakdown is a brand.
Or are you trying to tell us to
I
break
think
down the brands?
no I think the reason why people do like Ambil because this was the time I think when people were wearing boots, the like the Doc Martens and all that stuff. And maybe that it because if
No,
you wear
well,
like
I
tight
don't know,
pants,
but my cousin who was the one who introduced us to this one didn't even have Doc Martens or something. So it was just like funny. It was like a thing, and I don't know. I was just like so pissed off with that fashion
okay,
because it was
what
just so
about
jolos. It was just so jolos.
Armando Caruso hankies? Was that a fad? Aspen Cologne, was that a
They're
fad?
still around now. They're still around now. The Armando Caruso,
But
like I still have
it's not
actually,
like it's
some
not like you
hankies
go out of your
with
way to buy
Armando
it, right?
Caruso.
Because
No,
I
not
remember like
really, not really.
Gaisano
But
had like stacks and stacks of it for sale, and like every
why?
student would buy one. It's like
Who started it? Do you
it
know who
wasn't even
started it or what
expensive.
started it?
What, the Caruso one?
Yeah, the Armando Caruso
No,
handkerchiefs. Like who
I
started
was
it? Like
here when I came when I was in college. I think it was my
it was
first year of
already a
college. I
thing.
just remember like people were talking about like they would be using
All
Caruso
right,
and
so it was
they
already
would
a
spray
thing. All
Aspen
right.
on it. They would spray Aspen on it,
The
and I
Aspen
remember I
thing,
had a
it's probably
girlfriend.
because they couldn't afford any other perfume at that point, so they just like stick with Aspen. That's how I would
Because it was
analyze it.
affordable. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
probably. It
affordable.
probably
People
wasn't.
could afford it.
And everybody just said it smelled great because that was only in comparison to what, right? Like you know,
Yes, right. Good news.
yeah,
Gaisano Center
compared to
is
what?
coming back soon. Like what? I mean, what happened to
I mean,
Gaisano
what?
Center?
Wait, hold on. It's Gaisano's. You think Gaisano Center, the way it was back then, is still going to be cool in this day and age? I mean, if it's a newer version, yeah. But I
Gaisano
mean,
Center.
why see bikini briefs? What? There's an aquarium in the basement. I mean, and those stupid pictures on the stairs that I keep looking at and I can't see the freaking ship.
We talked about it. We talked about it before. Pinky was like
The stupid
yeah,
picture
was
with
with us
image.
in that episode. There's like
That's
there's
in
something
Gaisano
like oh
Center.
come on. I never saw anything. That's why I never trust these things. People who say like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
saw something." Oh, come on! You're just saying you saw something. You didn't
Me
really
too. I
see
don't.
shit.
Be a me trying to see. No way. Oh, mag-open up. I know where the same location in Bolton, or it's a different location. I mean, look. I have to say this though. If there's anything I can say about Yesano Center, dude, they had like a separate world for underwear, right? They have like so many basements. they, they have like a basement that's just all brief. Right? Sometimes you get lost. You think you go down the wrong basement. You're like, oh, saan mo na food court? Puro
That's
mani brief.
true.
right? They
That's
have that
true. It
like
was like
three.
a
I think they have.
it was
I
like a
think they have three
maze building.
basements. Yeah,
It's
it's like
like
a
you went in a
maze.
maze. Oh my god. We're like rats in there trying
And
to
then the
find our
funny thing is,
way.
you enter in the Bolton entrance and then you exit in Claveria. What the heck?
What the heck?
Asa naman
Where
akong
is
kotse?
this? But you know
Oh,
that mall, that's not a mall. That's like what, a department store? Gisano Center
department
back in the
store.
day.
Yeah.
That was part of my childhood, man. I remember always going in there
Me too.
before,
Me too.
like going to the Anil bus terminal. Like me and my brothers would always pass by there. We would go inside and we would leave our bags at the baggage counter, and we would just
Yeah.
like go to the
The
shoe
toys.
section.
It's at the top.
Yeah.
Oh, the
No,
shoes.
not even
Okay. The,
we go
no,
because
the
dude, like
shoes was in the mid level, right? The shoe was like
yes,
in the
mid
and,
level.
okay. Okay. Here's why I know. Here's proof that you've been there. Whose giant shoe is on display there? There's like a giant shoe of an NBA player, and it's only like one shoe, and it's just like a sample or something of the actual
Right.
size that he wears.
All right.
You know whose it
Okay.
is? Whose
Yes.
shoe is it?
Do you know?
Who?
Do you know
Of course,
whose it is?
it's a
All
Reebok.
right.
It was Reebok.
Was it Reebok? Hang on.
It's Reebok. It's Reebok.
No,
It's huge. Shaq. Yes.
Shaq.
Shaq. The
Yes,
Shaq
Shaq.
attack. It was the
Yeah,
Shaq attack. It was there. There's like one, and it's so dirty already because everybody like holds
and
the
tried to
Shaq
like.
attack.
Did you ever try it? Like, try to put it in your body. Like, what if he steps on
Psychnosis,
me?
yes.
What would
The
happen?
psychnosis, the one with like it goes like this, yes. It's like the
Yeah.
circle one. They had that at the Gaisano Center shoe department. They were selling Converse too. The Dennis Rodman Converse with like the sun. I don't know if they
Right.
were selling the Kobe's at the time, but this was way back, man. So the players back then were like
Kobe's.
I don't think they were
It's like
Kobe's yet. I think Kevin Johnson
no.
maybe.
I was like in
Didn't Kevin
elementary
Johnson?
school. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah, Kevin
Kevin
Johnson, Larry
Johnson had
Bird,
Converse, right?
Magic
Yeah, those were
Johnson,
the
Converse
yeah.
ERX 280,
Yeah.
like Converse ERX
Yeah.
280 and ERX
Pippin.
300.
What was the Pippin? I can't remember the Pippin shoe. The Pippin was college already. I was in college already when Pippin came out.
Yeah, I was
That was
already
the
in
one with the
college when
air, right?
the Pippins
Was
came
that the
out.
one with the
It was like
air?
the air, yeah,
Like it
air,
says
yeah.
air, like air.
Yeah,
That's
well,
Pippin, right?
no. KP, they had
Yeah,
no.
hot
You
Pi-
know what? All those shoes were in there, but you know what? We just because we know that our parents couldn't afford those Nikes and those Converse. You know what we keep on looking at there?
KP.
Not the K. Well,
The
the
Worski,
KP was
the
no. The
Jaworski,
KPs are
the Jaworski KP.
you can find KPs in Footstep, not at Gisana
Yeah.
Center.
Oh, they
All
don't have this.
American. No, all American
They look like
shoes.
Converse. They look like Converse, right? They look
Yeah,
like
and they have like
Converse,
those fake pumps, like all American pump.
like the
It's like the
Reebok
cheaper
pump.
version of it. It's like all American.
Yeah.
I don't know like who came up with that freaking shoe or what company was that, but it was all American, and we'd always like check that out because it's like it's cheaper, it's affordable, but I never had an all American. I think
But that was your shoe.
Aldo had an all American. No, my mom bought me KP, and at some point when I was in first year high school, I got a Cons ERX 280. That was
Okay,
my
that's
that was my basketball
that was your
shoe.
first branded one. Remember the add in, which
I
I
n-
always
I
called
think
ado. I called it ado in because there's like
add
a
on
ball in the
add on
middle.
in yeah add in,
I
yes.
call it
There's like a
ado
ball in the
in,
middle,
ado in, but I think it's like add in. I think it's called add in. I'm
right?
not sure.
It's add in, and there's US Gear, a ripoff of the LA Gear. It was like a knockoff of
Yeah,
some sort.
yeah, yeah,
LA Gear, and there's like
yeah.
US Gear.
And
Traction
for the
sucks,
long
man. That shoe
for the long
traction sucks.
for the longest time, I was so confused which one was the original, New Balance or World Balance. For the
I
longest time, I was like,
know.
what was original here, New Balance or World Balance?
Dude, the
Because
world balance were like
right,
cool too. I had
it
world
was
balance
almost
growing
legit.
up. It does,
We
yes.
fell for World Balance. We fell for old add ball in. Oh, is that what it's called? Add ball in?
Add
Because
ball
there's
in.
a ball
I
in the
think
middle.
yeah, like add ball in. I think it's add in. And Grosby, yeah, Grosby was local. It was from Rubber World. That was a
I
local,
think
and it was
I
actually
think
good. They were
Alvin
making good shoe,
Patrimonio
but
had a signature shoe. Didn't Alvin
yeah,
Patrimonio have a
KP,
signature shoe?
KP, yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
KP.
yeah, I remember.
Red was Alvin's like blue. Red was Mon Fernandez. Uh, Green was Paul Alvarez. Jerry Cudenier was with
Jolas.
Adidas at that time.
Did
Jolas
Jolas have
was
a pair?
with No, Lastimosa was like I think with Adidas. Glenn Capaccio was
Alaska.
an Adidas model.
Okay,
So no, Jolas wasn't with KP. KP was Paul Alvarez, Ramon Fernandez, and Alvin Patrimonio. Like those were the models for KP.
got it, got it. But anyway, I just remember. Yeah, and we were talking about this too when the fad with the Islander, the thick slippers with like 10 million buckles. Like 10 million. There's like a buckle that you can remove at the back, and the Islander brand
Oh
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Islander. Remember Islander, the brand that's like
I
the
know,
the
yeah,
thick
but
like
the normal
slip
ones
on
are
set.
like cool. But then they started having those with with those belts,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
it had the belts. I had those. I bought them. Like they were thick. They're about to release the Scotty Thompson one by World Balance. Is that real?
Scotty Thompson. Yes, the pro model of Adidas. Yes, the pro model. Glenn Capaccio is a part of that team of endorsers from the PBA.
Pro model was low cut or high cut?
It was sort of mid cut. It wasn't like
Because
really
I
high
know
cut,
there's
high cut.
like
It's like a little
Adidas
mid cut.
All Star and Adidas Superstar, right? I don't know if Superstar was a high cut one, but anyway.
Superstar.
Yes,
They came out with their like mid cut as well, like mid cut basketball shoe. What Scotty?
yes,
Oh,
for
hang on,
real.
Scotty Thompson,
It's gonna be a real
World
Scotty
Balance, really
Thompson
for real?
one.
All right, player of Hinebra. All right, I don't know who that. Well, is he
Well, you should.
related to Clay Thompson? He's not related to Clay Thompson, right?
No, no, probably not. You should score that ice and wear it there. They'd all be like, "Ooh, World Balance." It's got to be bigger than New Balance. I mean, it's the world for crying out loud.
Seriously, seriously, you're the guys. Okay, we were just like talking last Wednesday because um yeah, these guys that I play with on Wednesdays, they're like really like shoe addicts and stuff. And one guy just came up to me and he was like, "Oh, in my cart right now is LeBron 19." But he hasn't decided to buy it yet because it still costs around 26,000 yen. That's like $280 right now. So
Yeah,
it's like really expensive, right? And then there's
yeah.
this other guy was like coming to me, he's like, "Oh, in my cart." No, he actually ordered already. And he said, "I just ordered a LeBron 8 um Space Jam edition." But I think that, like when I looked at it at the website of Nike, it's not in the basketball shoe section. It's in the
Yeah,
lifestyle shoe.
yeah.
I think
No, it's
he's
not for playing.
but he's gonna wear it for basketball. So I'm like, I just didn't tell him. So then there's this other guy who was like, "Oh, New Balance." Like he's got it's in his cart. He hasn't bought it yet, but it's the
That's Kawhi,
new
right?
yeah, it's a
Kawhi,
new
Kawhi.
Kawhi
Yeah.
shoe, which also costs around $260 right now. So I'm like, all right, they're still thinking about it. So me getting that world balance, I mean, they would probably because they're Japanese, they would probably like, "Oh, dude, where'd you get?" I don't know, like I don't know what it looks
Scotty
like.
Thompson.
This is a Scotty Thompson edition. Like who the hell is Scotty Thompson? Clay Thompson's brother.
He's a love child of Byron
That
Scott
would be a good prank. But I don't know, man. Come
and
on, like
Michael
these guys
Thompson.
talking about Kawhi shoes, Puma Clyde All Pro, like the LeBron 19. I
Yeah.
would go in there with my world balance Scotty
Do
Thompson.
they have the Luca and the Zion ones out? I mean, how are those shoes? Anybody wear those? Anybody
Like,
wearing the
okay, Luca is what?
younger
Like Luca is for like
Jordan.
I don't have the
Zion and
Zion
Luca, they're
stuff.
both Jordans.
Like the Zion shoe came out, right? The Zion one. And
Is that
I
the one that
liked it. I was
exploded?
like I like what it looked like. No. I think he was wearing a different shoe when the one that exploded. But he has his own Zion one, but the review was just so bad, and they say the
Oh,
material sucked. So I
really?
was like, I didn't get it, but it looked really
Okay.
nice
Yeah, it
because
looked
it looked
cool.
like one
Yeah,
of
it
the
looked
retro
cool.
Jordans. But so I didn't get it.
Yeah.
It's actually cheap right now. You can get it for about 70 $60, but like
Oh, wow, that's cheap
the
for a
the
signature shoe.
Westbrook
That's
cast
cheap.
has more positive reviews. Like his
Yeah.
why not 4, why not 04. Design is super snug fit, got size. All right, really? Um, oh, you're selling it? Did you use it for basketball? Like, is it how's the traction, or is it any good? Because right. But anyway, okay, let's go back to fad. We're talking about shoes now.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, shoes are fads. Like Saucony, Mighty Kid, those were fads.
Dude, Saucony's still
The
cool up until now. What
the
are you talking about? You still have a
remember the
Saucony. I have a
butterfly? Was
Saucony.
it butterfly shoes? Butterfly shoes for ping pong?
Okay,
When even if you weren't
yeah,
playing ping pong?
I think that's a
And the kung
Japanese
fu.
brand.
Did you own kung fu shoes? Did you own the kung fu? Did you? Dude, I
I
never owned
know who
kung fu.
did. I know
I
who
never
did.
wore them. I never wore kung fu shoes ever. No way.
Dude, this
Like
guy who's connected to you had kung fu shoes when we were in second grade.
connected to me. Okay, hold
Well, he's
on.
somewhat connected to you because of this
Okay,
girl.
hold on. Okay,
Make a
hold on.
guess.
Uh,
Okay, I'm gonna make it easy. Their family owned a hotel at some point back then in Matina.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Yes, yes.
All
I
right,
know.
okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
guy,
yeah, yeah.
right? So that
Yeah,
guy,
his
um,
kuya was like I knew the kuya.
yeah, right. So yeah, so the guy, he was my best friend in second grade, and he was always wearing kung fu shoes, and I really envied him. But my mom never bought me kung fu shoes for some reason.
They're
I don't know.
cheap.
Maybe it wasn't. But they're rich, so I thought it
They
was
look
really
like
expensive
ballet
because he's
shoes.
rich. I know, right? They look
They're
like
rich.
ballet shoes. So I thought it was like really nice because the guy's
Kung fu
rich.
shoes.
So I was like, Mom, I want kung fu shoes, but
You-
maybe my mom's like, no, that's not safe. That's not safe. You need like legit shoes, like actual shoes,
dude,
not kung fu
dude,
shoes.
your mom saved you from. You know, can you imagine if there were pictures taken of you wearing kung fu shoes? Oh my god! I
All
mean,
right,
I don't even know what those were for. I think those are only for kids who went to Chinese school or something. Like they had like Tai Chi or something because we were never
really?
required to buy them. I think so because there were a lot of them in Gaisano. Ilustre, I remember Gaisano Ilustre, there were a lot of kung fu shoes sold there. And like we never were made to wear those in school. Like I had friends who wore spadrilles and butterflies, you know, the pachuy chuy, you know, the
Right,
butterfly, the ones for ping pong, right? And because I think those are my friends who couldn't afford Tretorns. Because it kind of looks
right.
like Tretorns, doesn't it? The
Yes, the
butterfly,
the butterfly.
it looks like
For that
Tretorns,
exact
right?
reason. For that exact reason, I got the butterflies because I couldn't afford the Tretorn. So I got the
Yeah, the
butterflies.
Tretorns
But then I
were
found out
yeah.
now that butterfly is actually a Japanese. I think it's a Japanese brand because it's popular here in Japan.
Oh,
It's a table tennis
for ping pong, yeah.
product for ping pong. So it's
That's
quite
why in the
popular
front of
here.
it, there's like rubber on the sole, so
Yes,
that when you
yes,
go like this with your feet to
yes,
play ping pong, it
yes.
doesn't get worn out.
Right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not for
Oh,
kicking or something. Like no, that's different from a kung fu shoe. And okay, we're wrapping it up, so we'll just read
the
the remaining
messages.
messages. Like Hinebra fan talaga kami ni Hernan way back then, kaya haircut namin Leo Isaac and JV Gayoso style pa. What do you, Leo Isaac had like a mullet going. You know
JV
what? That
Gayoso just
guy
like
was,
had normal hair. You know
yeah,
what?
I think so.
You know what? For a while, I had a hard time differentiating between JV Gayoso and Robert Jaworski, Dudut Jaworski. Like Dudut Jaworski and JV Gayoso, they
Yeah,
both
they
like
have that
got the
generic
same weight.
haircut.
That same
Yes,
weight, you
yes.
know, like they were both kind of like chubby.
Right,
And
but I
they're
think
like
JV Gayoso played better than Dudu
of
Junior.
course, yeah, he was. Yeah, 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 yeah. Dudut was like, it was only like 1 minute left, and they were leading by 50.
Pa, pasudlan ako pa.
Yeah, just so
Tananak,
he could
sige
be in
nak,
the
sahod na nak.
payroll. And he'll shoot a 3 pointer, and everybody
Ah,
freaks out. Wah!
dali na nak,
All right,
dula na
so
nak. I
yeah,
never wore
for a
kung
while I
fu
was a
shoes.
Spartan shoes
Spartan shoes
lang.
lang, kay lami gamiton pang takya na kay lapad ang inner side. All right, okay.
I didn't know.
But
I didn't even
yeah,
know Spartan made shoes. Spartan made shoes.
Dexter, are you kidding? Because yeah, me too. I
That's
never.
just Spartan,
I
bro.
don't think they made shoes. I don't remember anybody. I mean, I was poor. I was poor, right? I mean,
But you don't know
I wore
Spartan shoes.
Robertsons. Like, have you ever wore Robertsons? Robertson
No, no, no,
shoes? See, you're
no.
rich. I wore Robertson
Unless it's a
shoes.
requirement, probably. I don't know. I never wore
It was a Robert.
Robertsons. I never wore
It's
Grosby's
it's
either.
the cheap. It's the cheap version of All Stars, Converse All Stars. It looked that way, but they were
Oh,
Robertson.
got it. Spartan
So it was
lagi.
very cheap. It was less than 100 pesos. It was what 80 pesos. It was canvas, and the
Yeah,
traction sucked. Yeah.
yeah.
My dad had it, so we
Dexter
all had it.
Dexter wore Spartan every time he went to El Madrid. Their house was near El Madrid.
And just yeah, just about he's about just about coming in, the guard will block him and like bawal chinilas diri brad.
Sige, hubuhon,
Bawal short.
magtini lang. Ubo shorts.
Tinil na lang ko. See?
Ubo shorts.
Right? I never thought I never thought that I never thought of it that way. You know what? That's actually cool, right? Like bawal tinilas na rin. Ay, sige, bili na lang na ako. Right? That would have, I don't know how the person would react.
And then you walk
How
in
would
El
the guard
Madrid. No, no,
react?
no. And then you walk in El Madrid and I'm sitting there eating my chichirya. Ano sabihin? Rad, kid, pwede magpasok.
Rod, can we go inside? Can we watch the show? Okay, okay, okay. Holy shit.
Oh my
Bawal ang
God. I was
chinelas,
such
bawal
a...
ang shorts. Grade bitaw
Grade
na.
bitaw
Bata
na.
kami,
Bata
dagandagan,
kami.
hindi na
Dagan-dagan mi.
nagchinelas. I think so. I've heard of raids and stuff
El
like back in the
Madrid.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm
when
so
shit
lucky
goes
because like Hot Legs, we went to Hot Legs, right? Like the week after
on.
it
Yeah.
got raided. So I
Oh,
was always
lucky you.
lucky. Like I
Well,
always
what's
went to
gonna happen
places
if
like
it gets raided and you're in there? Are they gonna book
media
you?
ko, media, undercover media. Actually, undercover ni, nag-media, kwan ko, investigate na mo ni siya.
Like, will they book you?
Media na,
So
media niya na, ladies drink niya na, kasabak.
I have to
Undercover,
look legit.
nagsabak man.
Kailangan, dapat believable daw. Undercover nga eh.
You know what? The worst thing about going to places like that is like when you order your beer,
Right.
dude, the waiter's freaking standing right next to you, waiting for you to drink your beer. Order pa ka, sir. Pagkani ka to nga. Because you take your time, right? Because you're waiting for the main attraction. Order pa ka, sir.
Oh,
Wala pa, oh!
pagani.
Anyway,
Purado.
anyways, all right. So,
All right.
next
Okay.
episode
We'll
Monday.
see. Monday, all right. We'll see you guys. Thanks for joining us. It was fun. It was actually chill. So yeah,
It
it was lots
was.
of
It
fun.
was.
Tell people, right? Tell people about
So Monday
yeah.
is still live, right?
Yeah, we'll do live Monday.
Okay, I'll whip out my whiskey on Monday then.
All right. It's fun to do this. So yeah, like tell people and we'll see on Monday. We'll talk about something interesting. And hope you
And we
enjoy
want
your
to put
weekend.
somebody in. You want somebody to join up. I mean,
I
wasn't
know.
Gabby supposed to join us
I know, but he was
tonight?
like, Gab, were you like
We
how about
forgot.
Monday, Gab?
Yeah,
We
Monday, Gab.
forgot.
Come on, Gab. I know. We asked him, and he said he wasn't
We
sure.
started talking. Yeah, because he said he wasn't sure. All right, yeah, and we started talking. You know us,
I just
Gab.
remember
When we
now.
start
I
talking,
also just
there's no
remember now that
stopping
we
it.
actually asked him.
Like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
All
okay,
right.
so
Anyways,
thanks a lot.
Monday,
Thanks for
Monday.
joining us. We'll see you Monday, and yeah, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Sunday tomorrow. And yeah, this has been the OK Show. My name is Iceman.
Yeah, and remember, the one who wasn't commenting, he was wanking off.
He was jerking off. Joe Boy. I would say it was Joe Boy. Yeah, Joe Boy,
We know
you're
it was
guilty.
you.
And
We
Jet
know it was
Boy. The
guilty,
two
guilty.
J's. Joe Boy and Jet Boy. All
No,
right.
Jeff was watching PBB. Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, so we're out of here.
We'll see you guys
Guys, take
Monday. We're
care.
out of here. Good night. We are out.